Hey guys, we're eating.
I wouldn't exactly call this pudding. I would call it sex in a bowl. I think it was me. I have cake.
Put headphones on. Everything's probably muted. Speaking to the microphone, can you be heard?
I can be heard.
Yay! And tonight. Oh, how's everybody on YouTube? I hope you're having a good night. I could care less. I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of those DJs where the only reason I'm doing this is for me.
Really, in all honesty, there's nobody watching.
Yeah. Hi, you about ready to go live?
Let's see how many people listening we can get rid of.
Oh. Ready?
I'm ready.
Woohoo! Here we go. Hey, guess what? It's 7 o'clock. It's a Wednesday night. It's Just for Fun Radio Network. And this is Puddin'. That's going to be my new radio name. It's no longer Military Mike. Now I'd like to be referred to as Puddin'. Hey, it's Military Mike, and this is The World According to Mike. With me, Mike, and a bowl of pudding. And you don't have one. And you don't have a co-host. I do. Danny? Double D, Doc?
Woo!
Hands up in the air. Here, talk while I get some more pudding.
I don't know why you think I'm going to talk. This pudding's good.
Go pudding.
Hey,
Fine.
if you're upstairs or anywhere in the vicinity, you might want to stop by and get some of this.
It's terrible. Don't do it. Don't waste your time. Because this is pudding time. It's a little pudding time. I know why Bill Cosby had the bitches now. This is good stuff.
My pudding brings all the boys to the yard.
Wow. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, it's just me and you. Gonna have a guest here. He'll be here in a little bit. Got Commissioner Oz Nesmith be in the house tonight. Come over here and yell and scream to everybody.
Well, we can play with my multiple personalities.
No.
But we have to play with yours.
Yeah, those aren't personalities. So, The World According to Mike, coming to you from I always say the super secret or uber secret Just for Fun radio studio. And then I'll put in Conyers, Georgia. Because we're not really secret. We are kind of. What we do down here is a secret. I have no idea why I'm still wearing my reading glasses.
Kind of like a bat cave.
Yeah, it is. It's very dark in here. As you can see, to my right, we have Mick Jagger and a small jute box. Into our front, yeah, that was kind of just loaded. I just wanted to go ahead and bring this up because people, as they're starting to tune in, which is not now, but if you're listening, you can get on YouTube and go to YouTube, Just Fun Radio channel on YouTube. Click like, hey, see what happens? You start yelling at people, and they're gone. Nah, well, must have missed. Yeah, they must have misspelled. Say, hey, they're back. No, they must have misspelled something. So if you look to our direct front, or if it was a helicopter, I'd be telling you to hover and land. That is one giant banana split split tail cake. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you this: yummy.
I'm telling you, the recipe for this is so friggin' awesome, and it'll keep longer than trying to do ice cream cakes. It's angel food cake on the bottom, banana pudding, bananas, pineapples.
Really?
Yeah. You don't taste the pineapple?
I do not, ma'am. But
Oh.
as fast as I'm eating it, I'm not. There's probably about 3 or 4 things I'm missing here.
And then there's another layer of cake, of course, and then you do your strawberries, your topping, your whipped topping, more bananas, cherries, and your chocolate icing.
Get some. Oh, okay. Nap time. So it's 7:03 and I'm ready for a nap.
You can't have a nap yet.
Ready to go to a commercial? Get some more. So how's your week been?
It's been a rough week for me.
Been a rough week? Yeah, well, we're both disabled combat vets. Every week's kind of rough.
Yeah, well, I got up with a new attitude this morning and decided I was going to work out.
How'd that work out for you?
Well, I did about 7 sit-ups, I think. Okay, by sit-ups, I mean I was just trying to get out of bed, but I started to sweat at the end of it, so it's a workout.
You started to sweat at the end of 7 sit-ups. Well, I probably shouldn't talk because I'm not going to do 7 sit-ups. I'm here to tell you, I'm the guy that I'll roll over if I can't find the remote. And if I roll over twice and I still can't find the remote, I'll just watch whatever the hell's on. I bring a whole new meaning to lazy, and I'm okay with that. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know. As you start to get more broken, or you start to feel the pain from being broken, or what would you say that as the meds start to wear off?
That's probably more like it.
So, sometimes I just lay in bed and my dog will be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'll go let yourself out. Jesus.
I do scissor kicks while you're just laying in the big lazy boy. Occasionally that works it counts, right?
No, I do scissor kicks trying to get out of bed. You ever do that thing where you do the inverted back kip up thing?
Yeah.
And people are like, wow, you can do a kip up. No, I'm just trying to get out of bed, man.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That was my workout.
Yeah. Memory foam. When you're young, memory foam is the bomb. When you're old, it's like, let go. God, let me out of here.
Yeah, my dog likes to sit at the foot of the bed and just look at me like, I can't believe my retarded human is actually even going to try to get out of bed today.
Really?
Yeah.
My dog is like, I got more pictures of my dog than I do my family members. My dog loves me, so that's one reason. So, you said you had a rough week. I know the Foxhole Sport Network went through a little turmoil. Not to bring up a bad subject.
Yeah,
but
we had a little change of events.
Up a bad subject,
But we are moving on, and we have bigger things coming in. So we have a contact now that we're talking to about getting our 501(c)(3),
which would be your nonprofit status.
It would be awesome to have because then we have a whole lot more things open up to us. But the Foxhole surpassed its 2,500 member mark.
Wow. That's cool.
That was awesome. We've been sitting on the cusp of that for a while.
You said cusp.
I think it's a bad word.
Cusp.
Come on, Mike. Can you spell it?
Cusp.
There we go.
Cusp. No.
Okay. That's okay. It's all right. You don't have to spell it. This is not a
it's going to make me nuts. Cusp.
C-U-S-P.
Cusp. Nature of the word.
Use it in a sentence. No.
Can you use it in a sentence? I love those little kids that do this. Boy, talk about a good show this week, right? 10 minutes into it, we're talking about little kids doing spelling bees. Those poor kids are so stressed out. They're like,
Well, they apparently don't do that anymore.
Are you serious?
Have you not been on Facebook and social media at all? Nobody knows how to spell anything.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. No, that's just stupid. We're a stupid, lazy world anymore.
Question for you.
Okay.
Is it a chest of drawers or is it a Chester drawer? Chester drawer.
It's a chest of drawers.
See, now that's where I have my problem. On Facebook, when you go through these buy and sell pages, it is Chester drawer, Chester drawer, Chester drawer. And I
Like
try to explain
Chester,
this to people.
The name, somebody's name.
And I'm like, I don't want Chester's drawers.
Yeah. Well, last I heard, Chester doesn't wear any drawers.
Oh, God. Ugh.
Well,
Bad
I mean,
images.
you can't base your, you can't base, you know where I'm going with this. You can't just say everybody is, that's on Facebook
Not everybody.
is dumb, but man, you're really teetering if you're trying to get, something, uh,
I expect some grammatical errors. I expect some misspellings because, most of the time it's just because Siri tries to play some really great jokes. She screws up at what I have to say a lot.
I don't do the little assistant thing. But like it'll give you suggestions, not the talking one, but I'm just talking about like the autocorrect and all.
Yeah.
I use that. Yeah, I'll jam a little bit on that.
I'll do the autocorrect, but sometimes like who in their right mind ever, when I say the word on there, the bad ones, and it gets autocorrected to something completely moronic. Like, fix it, Siri. I did not mean that. Nobody ever means that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a girl a while back. She was trying to text me, I think, hugging kisses, and it came out jugs and loads. And that became the joke for a long time,
Jugs and loads.
Yeah, so Siri's got a dirty mind.
Yeah.
Which we knew that. We knew that. That's an actual woman too, right? Her voice is an actual woman.
I don't know. I got rid of the woman's voice. I've got an Australian man. It sounds way hotter.
Oh, that's clever. Mm-hmm. That's clever. Hey, I just received a text said that Commissioner Nesmith will be here in a little bit. So
awesome.
We're just kind of goofing off right now as we're waiting on our guest. Man, you brought up Facebook, so I'm gonna bring up Facebook. When a pretty girl posts a picture, okay, and just starting out here. So pretty girl posts a picture. All right, she gets 8,462 likes and about 8,000 comments. And they're all like beautiful, stunning, stellar, blah, 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 blah. I mean, obviously it's confidence builder. But it's kind of like they just go through and they hit the like button on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, as long as you're pretty.
So they just, as long as it's a nice comment, they'll like, they'll do that. I think they should be a little bit more personable. I think if you don't know the guy and if you don't really want to get that, I don't know, what would you call it? That compliment from that particular guy.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Then you shouldn't be just like, hey, what's that? Hey, liking everything. I disagree with that. I think you should, I think it should be more, I don't know. What would you call it? More
I don't
personable?
Know. You're asking the wrong person. I have put my boobs and butt up on Facebook before.
All right. This is a kid's show. Let's keep it clean.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, it really isn't. I don't know when a woman just puts up, like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Doesn't work for me. I think she should be, I don't know. Does that make sense? Should she be more?
You're talking about women who just for their page just put up selfie after selfie of them trying to look super sexy.
Yeah, and they're trying to look super sexy, and then when guys are nice to them and say stuff, they kind of just give you the like, just the little like one like.
Well, no, don't take that to heart because I do a lot of that, and it's just because I'm busy, and I want to acknowledge that I have.
Yeah, I think
I've seen it, but I just don't have time.
I'm still gonna go with it sucks, and that if I take the time out to use Siri and type something out and attempt to look smart, you on the other hand should have to, and you should have to definitely.
She already did her part. She put her boobs out there.
Well, no, I mean, Facebook, you can't get too carried away. But I do have, I have a tremendous amount of, very, very attractive women for friends. You know, I try to be like the bacon thing that's going around right now with the potatoes. Yeah. Oh, that thing is amazing. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why it's coming from hairstyle inspirations, but it's this like bacon ratatouille, potatoes, cheese, yummy thing. And so I sent it to a friend of mine, a very old friend of mine. And I said, hey, how about we make this and some wings? Because she makes some really good chicken wings. She responds back. You see what she responded back with? Nothing. Yeah. Yeah. So I take the time to do all that. And she responds back with, well, nothing. It's just her name. No comment. So,
she was so excited she forgot to type.
Well, Mike. Here, I think we talked about this during, before we went on. Bite me. You know, it's so hard to be nice to women anymore. It really is. What the hell is y'all's problem? Is it that y'all just get it from all sides now, and you're just so used to it, and you know it's just like it's more of a bother now than it is a compliment.
You know, maybe for the younger generations, but my generation, you know, those of us who are getting wrinkled now, we still appreciate it. We still like the guys opening the doors for us, and we still like the guys who are sweet to us. But these younger girls, I don't get what they're looking for.
Like
whip me, beat me, treat me like crap, and I'll love you forever.
Where is that girl, right?
Is that the one you're looking for?
No, you know, I'm an old romantic type. You know, I like the long walks on the beach. I like the sitting up on the roof looking at the stars. I like that crap. I'm not going to do the club scene stuff. I just don't have it in me anymore. Not to mention it's just stupid, incredibly expensive. We were talking about it on the morning show the other day that I think it's a 20-ounce beer at the stadium costs $7.
I can't imagine doing it. Now I remember back in my younger days when, you know, I was the girl. I loved to go to the bars, and I loved to get drunk, and I loved. Why did
I pick a female coach? Go ahead. I know, you know, it's not just younger girls; it's older girls too. When you're in your 50s and you're trying to date, I'm 51. I'll be 52 this year. The women they're broken, they're crazy.
Well, there's no good place to date.
Holy smokes! Who cornered the market on? And I should get some hate mail over this one, but let's be honest. If you're a single mom, okay, there is a real good chance if you're a single mom and you've got 1 or 2 kids that are teenagers, let me go ahead and explain to you what overcompensation is and what you're going to get out of it in the end. Okay. Basically, teenagers are manipulating you. And by overcompensating well, I'm not going to date. I'm going to take care of my son, and he's 17, and I'm going to have a party for him at the house, or I'm going to let his friends come to the house. That way I can hover over him like a freaking Huey helicopter, Black Hawk helicopter.
That is not what she's doing. She is looking to become Stacy's mom.
Well, are they really? Do moms look to be MILFs? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Come on.
No, we love getting the attention of a younger guy.
Are you serious? Oh my God. Absolute breakthrough. I can't believe it. So you're saying that this whole time, whenever I'm arguing with ladies my age, because they want to stay home on the weekends and have all their kids' friends come over, they like the MILF thing. They like the attention from the teenage boys.
If these 40 to 50-something-year-old women who want to still feel sexy, they're not going to feel sexy because this guy is like 50 years old and saying, hey. So he's eyeballing you. Okay, you know, I got this guy eyeballing me. But when you have a 20-year-old college student fit male with a 6-pack and guns till Tuesday, and he rolls up and he's checking out your butt when you bend over to put the Tostinos in the oven.
But he's checking out your butt because he's like, how many levels of disgusting is that?
Well, we're not talking about my butt.
I didn't say your butt. I just said a 50-year-old woman's butt. Come
There's
on.
some hot 50-year-olds out there. Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Please, give me a break. If Jennifer Aniston, yeah, never mind.
Okay.
I can't even go there.
But there are hot 50-something-year-old ladies out there, and they love the fact that these young guys are...
They don't give them no attention.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Well, who wants to have sex with somebody if they're going, yes, ma'am? No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You do know what domination is, right?
I do and I don't.
An older woman has all of that over a younger guy.
That's disgusting.
No, it's not.
God, I'm going to throw up in my mouth.
No, it's not. It's no different than you dating a younger girl.
No, it's 180. Okay, look, here's the thing. All right, here's the thing. Let's go ahead and make this perfectly clear. When an older man dates a younger woman, if a younger woman isn't attracted, it's a daddy issue. It's a uncle issue or something like that. Okay? And that's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You don't think men
Is that
have
me?
issues?
Is that you?
It's not me.
I don't know where it is. It's probably this phone, but it's not on. Get this. I'm trying to turn the phone on and talk. God knows I'm not. I just used to fly helicopters. No big deal. Okay, younger guys don't go after, I think it's text messages. Younger guys don't go after older women. Okay?
Yeah, they do.
Nah, very few. And those dudes, you know what they're doing? Somebody's got to drive the Mustang. Somebody's got to drive the Mercedes. That's all they're doing. They're looking for a sugar mama.
They're looking for sugar mamas, no different than the young girls are looking for sugar daddies.
No, that's not true, because younger girls will date older guys because they make them feel secure and all that other stuff. Hell, I ain't got no money.
Younger guys go with older women for the
coyote thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not a coyote. Oh, come on, coyote.
Come on, prestige. Why would a young guy with the six-pack in college, have you ever seen college girls? Have you ever seen what college girls look like these days?
Sweetheart.
Flat stomachs.
Yeah.
Beautiful round eyes, shorts that can barely even be called shorts.
And they will not do some of the things that we women will do.
I know, but here's the thing. I agree now. A mature woman is a mature woman.
We will teach those boys those tricks that they use on those girls.
No, because you can't use those tricks on younger girls. The phone thing's true. I think I'm getting text messages on the studio phone. So if you are text messaging me on the studio phone,
just call in.
I think the topic would demand that you actually call in. Please stop texting in, because I'm not going to take away from my busy eating. You never know. I may have another freaking bowl of pudding. So not going to have hands free to answer text messages. So stop it. Okay. Why? I got it. Look, younger girls and older guys is acceptable. It's been going on since the history of time. Older women trying to seduce younger men and younger men falling for it. There's some issues.
No, there's no seducing, honey.
There's issues there. Okay, look, if an older guy like me had let's say a 30-year-old girlfriend and we're going out somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, buddy, arm candy. Yeah, ho. And she'd be digging it, because she'd be like, look, I'm with Mr. Maturity and all that other stuff. Now, change the whole scenario.
Oh, we don't go out in public with them.
You know exactly right. That is so freaking sad, man.
It's not a public relationship.
Sad.
It has its other qualities.
Well, why not just lock them up in the basement and make them your little college sex slave?
Who says I haven't?
Yeah, well.
I've had a Marine chained to my stove before.
Oh, my God. Got pregnant every time you did the dishes. Boom, boom, boom. Holy smokes. Yeah. See what happens on The World According to Mike? I had all this stuff about what is going on in the news and all that other junk. And we ended up talking about what
my sex life again.
No, not yours. But think about it. An older woman, I mean, of course, she would like to take a younger guy out, but a younger guy is not going to go out in public really with an older woman.
He doesn't go out in public with them, because the things that these young men like,
right,
are not things that you generally accept in public. young men.
What the hell are you doing?
Younger men.
Yes.
They are authorities in their age category. But sometimes guys, and you'll remember this from when you were younger, guys sometimes like it when a woman takes charge.
Oh,
not all the time.
No, it's cool. No, it's cool.
And
there's
like.
Times for that.
That's what they like about these older ladies.
This is like sex talk with Military Mike and Double D. Oh wow, sex talk.
Double D.
Yeah, that's what I should do. I should branch off from this and do a relationship show. Can you imagine?
Oh, like a Dear Abby kind of. Oh, yeah.
That'd be bad. That would not. It would last about an hour,
maybe.
Yeah.
Before the first person showed up to whoop your ass.
Be like crickets. I can assure you one thing: I don't give relationship advice. I do the whole life coach. Try to help people out there, but I don't give relationship advice. I have a whole different way of looking at relationships.
Relationships are a nasty business.
Yeah, man. I rather deal in stolen Turkish gold bullion.
I think I would rather clean toilets with my bare hands than to give relationship advice.
Is there anybody out there that's listening? I know we got some listeners, got a few on YouTube. If you think you could handle doing relationship advice, I'm willing to open up a 10-15 minute window on the show every week and let somebody talk about it. I'm talking to a young lady right now about a cooking, like a recipe of the week, because she makes some stuff that is off the hook, man. And it's just crazy cool. And she has like a small public access radio show.
You should give her this.
Oh. Will you go open that up for Oz? This is the best thing about having a co-host. You get to send her on her way. So, Commissioner Oz is coming on. We'll get him on some headphones and all. We're going to talk to him. I usually, just before everybody else gets on there, I usually don't do much as far as the local government, but things are heating up here in Rockdale County. So I wanted to get everything going. Come on in. And we are live on the radio and YouTube right now, guys. So please have a seat. You guys, we got pudding. Oh, man, have a seat. Put some headphones on. It's a little bit different than the day show. I'm going to go ahead. I am on the air right now, yes. Thank you for calling. Yo, did I get that call? Hey, this is the world according to Mike. Hello.
Here's the world according to Mike. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, who's this?
Hello, man.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Now, I heard you talking about dating a younger woman.
Let me ask you a question. And in your case, I know both you and your wife, and yeah, she married down.
Yeah, we know that. We agree with it.
Yeah, I think everybody is in positive agreement there as far as the entire veterans world and all. But let's be realistic. She married down. This is awesome.
Well, she is 8 years younger than me.
She's 8 years younger than you?
Yes, 8 years younger than me.
Oh wow! Now see, I'm starting to question her thought process. She's younger, she's hotter. God knows she's smarter. Now let me ask you guys a question. Would you guys be willing to maybe each week on the show here do maybe a 5 to 10 minute, just like a relationship tip? It is the world according to Mike, so we got to do it a little bit different than the rest of the world. We can't. We can't just sit there and go, "Hey, be nice to your spouse and take out the trash." No, that's not what we want to do on the world according to Mike.
No, we want to find out the kinky stuff.
No. You're not. You two need to give me offline. I'll tell you my story, and you go, "Yeah, you're the guy to talk to."
Yeah, well, I figured you were, and the good Lord works in my life, So you calling in right when I was putting that offer in. Obviously you had no choice. The devil made you dial the phone, and now your poor wife is over in the corner crying.
You guys a lot later in the show.
Yeah.
But then I heard like you talking about seeing someone younger than you, and I go, "Oh, gee, man, that's me." I married my wife is 8 years younger than me, and wow.
The last girl I dated was 21 years younger than me, and
Yeah, I've been there, Mike.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Well, you know, what do you think was the what would you say the part of the relationship that caved in and caused it to be over? What and
Oh,
you know,
God.
I'm not trying to say be
Yeah,
clean and all that other stuff. It's a night show. You can say what you want to say, but
actually, no. To be honest with you, I think it was more of the because she was actually what? She was 21 and I was 37.
Yeah, that's just sick.
Well, and you know what?
That was too.
The way I met this young lady kind of puts everything in perspective.
Yeah, chloroform.
Anyway, yeah, yeah, basically. But I think it was like you mentioned before. There was definitely a daddy issue. Definitely a daddy issue.
Hey, we have some guests. So let me go ahead and introduce them, and then they'll just feel free to join in. Oz Nesmith is running for. Well, I tell you what. You know what? I picked up one of your cards at the convenience store. I stopped it on the way in. So I'm going to let Oz, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. And then if you would now, Sherry, is that okay? Okay. Let me make sure these microphones are all turned on too. Cause we weren't anticipating a whole bunch of folks, but Oz, I know yours is, if you get started.
Well, it's good to be here, Mike. It's always good to be here on Just for Fun Radio. And tonight is, hey, I think we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. It's going to be an interesting show tonight. Anytime you're here with Mike, Military Mike, it is always, let me say this, unpredictable. You just never know what's going to happen. But it's, I like to call it a wacky Wednesday night. People who are not wacky are somewhere at Bible study, praying for the folks like us who are here just for fun, you know. But listen, it's the political season, it's campaign season. So I'm Oz on the go. I'm all over the place. And there are other candidates like the one sitting to the right of me, the one and only Sherry Washington, who is actually running for the seat that I'm holding now as Post 1 commissioner. She is a candidate. She's going to be tuning in here in just a moment and tell you a little bit about what she's doing. So she's here in her own right. And I'm here in my own right because I was here last night. I was here yesterday morning. I'm just one of those just for fun people. And I know that.
What does that mean exactly?
What that means is that you guys got a hell of a listening audience, and I'm not taking them for granted. And I'm here and letting them know that I can take the tough questions, answer the questions, and talk about what we're going to do to make Rockdale County a place for everybody. Absolutely. You thought I was going to say make Rockdale great, didn't you?
Well, no. You know what's really funny is
I'm trying to get that word out of my vocabulary.
When I was talking to Doc about all this, and I know you're still there, Tello, you just got to listen in with us. When I was talking to Danny about you guys coming out tonight, she actually did the research. Okay, so
I got OCD, so I'm going to do this because I want to cover this up.
Why?
So, that way there'll be no particles, bacteria, stuff falling in there. Absolutely.
Yeah, like a spoon.
You have got to try this.
It looks like it's good.
All right. What I was going to say was she did the research. She because she's not from this county. So I think it's really going to be interesting because you and I know each other. We've debated questions before. We've discussed, we're friends.
You've pissed me off several times.
Oh,
Mike.
yeah, absolutely.
You pissed me off several times.
I mean, you got me back.
And I pissed
you got me
off
back
several
this
times.
week. Yeah.
And this is the show that allows you to piss each other off and still sit next to each other and be all right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think we're adult enough to
we've agreed to disagree on several occasions, and we've done the kumbaya.
Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord. All right. I'm trying to get Scotty to run down real quick so I can turn on that mic. I apologize.
What about that one over there? Is that one on?
Test it real quick, Doc. Just kind of test it. No, he's got them turned off on the board, so he'll come down in a sec. I just text him on that one. Okay, so real quick, Tello, you there? Hello. Okay. Well, good. He wasn't any fun to talk to anyways. He'll call back.
You see how they treat you?
Well, the day shows.
And he'll call back too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The day show's the day show. The night show's the night show. We have definitely a different demographic. Listen this evening. Now, you may get a phone call. You got to try it.
Not right now. I'm good.
Okay,
Good.
because you're going to make her upset.
No.
She's one of those.
I'm not going to make her upset.
She's a combat disabled vet, man.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so am I. So if you're not nice to us, you know what happens. So you know what? I'm going to bring that up. Let's bring that up real quick.
So while we're waiting on the technical difficulties to work
Yeah.
out for our candidate over here,
She's
Sherry Washington, she can enjoy the
So
pudding.
welcome to the world according to Mike.
When I walked in the
know?
door, you said you had pudding, so I didn't know exactly
Yeah.
what the hell you was talking about
Yeah.
until I saw that. So I don't know the people
Well-
in Radio Land that's listening when you said we've got pudding out and that. What
Oh,
are you
man.
talking about?
Let me tell you,
Mike can be quite eccentric, so
eccentric.
bring a little clarity to the situation here, Michael.
By saying eccentric, that doesn't that insinuate that I have money? I'm one of those guys where the family has
Hardly.
money. Yeah, the family has money, but they won't take my calls. I know. I apologize. We weren't anticipating. So he's probably going to yell at me and go, "This is what you're supposed to do." I love when he comes down here. He'll go, and then he'll like stupid and run off, and I'll be like, I have no idea what he did.
Unless he throws something at you.
I have had things thrown at me. Okay, so I've got this, and we'll go over that as soon as you can rebuttal. Oz, buddy, this is what I told
That's
Doc.
the first beginning of the setup when he says Oz, and then
Yeah.
he said, "Buddy, I already know something's coming. Bring it on."
Well, okay, here's what I told Danny, my co-host here, about you. I said, if anything, at the lowest possible denominator, I feel you deserve this position as the chairman, okay? For one simple thing that is completely and what I'm doing is I'm trying to take the argument out of it for folks that are listening. Here's the thing, Oz. You deserve it because ever since I've known you, a year and a half now, there is no way that I could count how many comments I've seen you post, how many articles I've read about you, how many places I have seen you, how many times you and I, obviously on the radio station, you've used to come in every Tuesday, remember?
Mhm. Town Topic Tuesday.
And so we'd see you then.
Right.
I think the very first day I met you, I was like, wow, one, excellent radio voice. Two, the hour show wasn't enough for you to get your information out, which I thought was great. Because usually
you just called me long-winded. That's
Yeah.
what the rest of the folks do too.
no, I'm sure. I'm sure that's not only what they call you on.
No, that's not the only thing they call me, but I'm paying attention. But go ahead.
Yeah. So so I get all that, but then how many career networking type functions have I seen you at? Just off the cuff in the last year, how many have you participated in?
Oh my goodness.
Now it's on.
It's on.
Oh, he did it he can do it remotely.
He's a bad boy.
He is a bad boy. Thank you, Scotty. I
Sneaky.
forgot about that.
DJ Scotty, the man in the sky.
Wow. And I got a bunch of messages. He's calling me names. So isn't that weird? He can remotely control the stuff.
Did he
down here.
sophisticatedly call you stupid?
And then through social media, he insulted me. That's awesome. I'm going to keep these for prosperity. So yeah. And then he's right now, he just typed kiss up. Yeah. See, I say my boss is yelling at me and calling me names, and to Scotty, to DJ Scotty, that means I'm complimenting. It's welcome to the world according to
Now
me,
is Sherry in the camera shot?
Yeah,
It
nope,
doesn't seem
Not
like
yet.
but
yet.
Danielle is gonna
make that happen.
look at. She's
When-
like,
when-
yeah, don't
when-
have to be. You know, ladies are.
So let's just talk about. So we're getting back to what you were saying.
Yes.
I can't. Sherry said 2 minutes. I don't know.
Too many.
All I can tell you, I have literally lived up to this other tagline, "Awesome to go." I can't keep up with the number of things and the people that we've been trying to assist in our community to make Rockdale County a better place for so many folks. It's just part of who I am. I don't know anything else to do, Michael, other than to try to make this place a better place for other people and for all of us here in Rockdale County. So
Yeah, and
my passion to be completely committed to this community, and this is what my wife said to me the other day. She wouldn't say anything about me not winning the election because she believed in her heart of hearts, of course, we're going to win the election.
sure.
But she said this. She says, I know that if you wasn't a county commissioner, you'd be doing this anyway because that's just who you are. And of course, that made me feel good. She connects with my energy and my passion. But it's true. My hometown, Augusta, Georgia, I spent 15 years with law enforcement, and I was involved with the 100 Black Men. Our organization we started was the Mailroom Foundation. So to be a part of community I grew up a part of the community, and it's just in my blood. I enjoy it.
Wouldn't you agree that you have to give up personal time to do that?
Well, I do it all the time. I mean, right now I could be home with my beautiful, lovely wife. We're in the dead heat of an election. So if there's an opportunity for me to engage with your audience and people who are listening and people who still, I don't take for granted, Doc, that everybody knows who Oz Nesbitt is, but guess what? They don't. So I've got to keep grinding and grinding and grinding. And my wingman said to me today, he says, well, he says at 7 o'clock on election night, we're probably gonna have to tap this guy on the shoulder and say, hey, come on, it's over now, it's done. So we're gonna be campaigning up until the moment.
What time does your day normally start? I'm asking because I got
5 o'clock, 5 a.m.
Okay,
5 a.m. Unless I have a night like I did, I think it was Monday night. I got up about 2:30 in the morning. My mind was just rolling. I went to the office downstairs and got on the computer and went to work.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
I don't really know how to put it because I can't really, when you do radio, especially like this, we're not pushing out wattage. Okay. So it's not like we're only known right here in Conyers.
You're everywhere.
I know, it's so weird.
That's everywhere.
It's so weird.
I was surprised the other day when he was talking about somebody in, did he really say Australia?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We actually, it's kind of weird. We have a large following in Australia, and now we have a dedicated listener that was in Heidelberg, and now slowly but surely it's spreading through Germany. But that's the power of the internet. So, when I put stuff out, I got to look at, Scotty's real strict about, be careful what you say because, there is a large listening base and you're going to get called on the carpet. If you're supposed to be serious, be serious. If you're supposed to be joking, be joking. So 90% of the time I'm joking around, right? Well, Oz, I'm going back to this is that every weekend, when is the last weekend, seriously, the last weekend that Oz didn't do anything? Look at it. He's stuck. He's like if you can't.
He's been in office for 8 years.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's been a weekend that I know of that Oz hasn't been. I mean, you see him doing things in places that are non-traditional. I just know that he's been grinding for 8 years trying to make this community better.
It was last summer I went to a basketball event with you.
We brought 727 people for the first time to Pine Log Park. We did a street ball tournament, and we recognized Mr. Dominique Wilkins, who's a resident of Rockdale County, along with Rockdale County High School graduate and now NFL ball player Grady Jarrett. We brought 727 people the first time.
There hasn't been 700 people to Pine Log Park
ever.
So
there's people everywhere.
Well, what we're doing is we're
Just for Fun Radio. It's Military Mike.
Sorry, man. I had to hear some business. I dropped you guys for a second.
Okay, well, you're just going to have to listen now because we're into some important other stuff.
I figured you would be. Sorry.
You're going to be, you and your beautiful wife are going to be our relationship experts. So hold on.
Well, I got a chance to ask her. Sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she will. So she loves me. All right. Let me let the commissioner finish up what we were talking about.
So I was just, and thanks for calling back in too. And so that's your husband there?
No.
Not your husband. Oh,
no, he's
okay. I just blew that.
Yeah, our show is starting.
That's still up in the air.
Yeah. I wonder if your real husband knows it. Okay. Our show is starting to be picked up by a lot of the veterans associations. We're supported by the Foxhole Support Network, which is really trying to beat down the 22 suicides a day.
Oh, wow.
Well, let me say, if this young man is on the line as a veteran, let's say we thank you for your service, sir, that what you've done and what you're doing for our country. We really mean it. It's not a cliche that I'm saying this. My father was a Korean War veteran. My son served in the United States Navy. And we certainly do appreciate the sacrifice that you guys make every day. And I don't like what I see when military folks return back from service, Sherry, and they're not getting their just due in terms of how they're treated.
Absolutely, I agree.
My grandfather, my great grandmother's brother was a United States Army veteran. My grandfather was a United States Navy veteran. My brother just retired as a lieutenant colonel from the United States Army. My child's father was in the United States Army. So I'm one of those people who has loved United States Army veterans, military. So we always thank you for your service with our sense.
I want to say something that makes it kind of strange, because I never knew how to respond back to that when folks used to come across, especially folks in uniform. Thank you for your service, or now that I see my hats and I say I'm a veteran. And I never knew how to respond to that, because I felt, as someone who serves, I felt sometimes weird, to say, oh, thank you. But then I heard one time this individual say, thank you for your support. And I realized that, you know what, I need to thank you for that support that you just gave us, because it is true. You're thanking me for the service I provided, but in turn, I have to thank you for supporting us and saying the things you just said. So it's important to respond back in that way. This is my belief, that when somebody says thank you for your service, to respond back with.
The only thing that I have to say right now is, whoever stole Tello, I want you to bring back his body and his brain. Because apparently the person I'm talking to right now is a lot smarter than the Tello I know. You almost came across as being relatively intelligent. Now,
all right. So we'll get back to
we were talking about local stuff, okay, and how concentrated you are in the local community. I'm serious. 700 and something people. There was people everywhere. I must be in trouble. The boss just showed up. There is. Do I need her on video?
There were 727 people there at the Pound Law Park last year. I think the date was May the 18th. Okay. And again, we had the Hall of Famer, which is Rockdale resident, Mr. Dominique Wilkins. But I was talking about the difference that we're trying to bring to this community.
Right.
And to give positive alternatives and positive options to the community as a whole, and certainly to our young people. There are 16,500 plus young people enrolled in Rockdale County Public Schools. We have only one park and rec facility, one major park and rec facility. And I'm talking about Johnson Park. Yes, we have other parks. We have Earl O'Neill Park. We have Shady Grove Park. We have Pine Log Park. But in terms of a gym facility, as we know, Johnson Road Park, that's the only facility that's in this county. Again, I just told you there are 16,000 students enrolled in public school in Rockdale County, and there's only one major park. That in itself is crazy.
Yeah.
So all over the world, we see these beautiful agreements between public and private partnerships. And Sherry and I was talking about this earlier, and she has a passion. Why don't you just tell them a little bit about what you're thinking in that area in terms of the Parks and Recreation Center?
I would love to see another facility on the north side of Rockdale County. It would alleviate time that the children have to wait, maybe for basketball courts. We can have more swimming lessons. I don't know if you all know, if you have a child that lives in Rockdale County, you try to sign them up for swimming lessons at Johnson Park. You have to sign them up last month for all of the summer.
Can I make what I refer to, and I apologize if I offend anyone, but let me go ahead and make a smart ass comment. There's 100 acres of a soccer thing over here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? This is the kind of stuff that in the world, according to Mike, I see this stuff, and this is the kind of stuff that creates, I don't want to say turmoil or anything, but what you just said is the most important thing. How long it takes for the kids to travel, because my son goes to school up in Marietta at Southern Polytech, and my ex-wife hates driving him back to school like on a Sunday. I don't mind. You see what I'm saying? But if people in North Rockdale County, what's in North Rockdale County? What?
I live in North Rockdale County.
I know.
But it's there's nothing for the kids to do. You have to go to Johnson Park. There's Pine Law Park is not far from where I live, but there's no swimming center. Yeah. There's no place that you can have.
Pine Log is an outdoor park, and she's absolutely right. There's a lot of land mass over there that we can do a few other creative things. But what Sherry's speaking to is she's so right. On the north side of Highway 20 in that area over there, the JH House area, there is no facility for the young people that reside on the northern part of Rockdale County. The same thing for the southern district. Those young people who are in the 212, Highway 1 and 38, Union Church Road area, they got all of these kids are coming down to Johnson Park, sitting, waiting for the basketball or the swimming pool or any other of the amenities that they have there in order to use.
And we're talking about kids, so we're talking about having them to travel.
And Doc, let me tell you something. These kids, do you know what it's like to see 700 kids? And everything was great. We had a blast, and I remember kids were running up to Scotty.
Just for fun made the event. I mean, the music, the hype man. It was a day that really went down in history. The hunger was this had never taken place before.
Right.
That's what brought the people out. I don't think there was maybe perhaps 2% of the people knew that Dominique Wilkins was going to even be there.
Right.
We did advertise that, we broadcast it, but
he's not happy about that, by the way. Also.
Well, no. But you know why? Because it wasn't about him, and he knew it. It was about the young people, and he said that, and he did a great job talking to those kids that day too.
This is the way I look at it too. Out of those 700 folks there, look at all those parents that were there. People were having a good time. It was hot. Oh God. It was ooga hot, but here's the thing: is seriously, what's the other park that I always talk about? The one on the county line,
Earl O'Neill,
the one by the fire department. It's right there on the county line, coming up. Gosh, it's on the other side heading by. Gosh, dog it!
You've got Google right.
I know, but I'm trying to look smart.
He's old school.
It's right there. Everybody just calls it the County Line Park.
South River Park out there on 138 at Fairview Drive near the Sunoco station. In the Southern District of Rockdale. Are you talking about that?
Southern District, yeah. And it's got
some
South
River
course. Yeah, it's got like
you can take your horses and
it's got an old beat up baseball field that is an embarrassment to say it's a baseball or softball field.
I know exactly where you're talking about.
It's got a beautiful playground area, and it's got some little interactive things there. But it's got I think it's got 2 courts, and there's 50 cars out there with people sitting on the cars waiting on 2 courts. Come on.
So there's work to be done. We can beat a dead horse here, but there's work to be done. I think Sherry and I share that interest and passion about it. She's running to be the Post 1 commissioner here in Rockdale County.
And we're gonna, now that we have her on mic, I'll go over some of her credentials and. Yeah, man, it's like door hangers. I like the idea of the door hanger. You know, Oz has got like magnetic stuff.
I don't have that much money, so if
God,
so I can get
somebody tell her we're on the air. We're on the air, please. Oh my God, it's a refrigerator magnet, so whether you're getting a Coke, a beer, or water, you can remember me.
Once again, I don't have that much money.
Sherry, let me ask you a question. You're going for the current position that Oz holds. Now, I just found out yesterday morning, you have some competition.
7 of us in the race.
There's 7 without an incumbent, right? I mean, so here's your shot. Look, I want to go ahead and put an offer out to the other 6. Yes. I don't even know who they are. Like I said, I just found out yesterday. I will try to get at least an email out, but I'm also doing it now. I'll invite them on as well.
And I'd love to come back.
Look, this is what a Wednesday night. I can put chairs all over this table.
Okay.
Yeah, you can sit back here with me if you want to. This is a nighttime show, and
I wouldn't do it. Okay, don't just leave that offer on the table.
Well, how do you think she got the co-host slot? So, Believe me, I can tell you stories of sitting eating sandwiches in the middle of the night in a combat zone with this woman and talking about stuff that you would just never imagine.
So I just want to let you know my 17-year-old son just tuned in and said, listen, Dad, I'm listening. So I want you, I thought I'd tell you that, military, Mike.
Well, that's good. And you know that, look, you're a tireless, seriously, I don't know when you sleep, and I don't sleep. And now you're bringing other people to us that are gonna. I know what you're doing. You're backfilling with good people, and that's what makes a positive, strong government.
Not officially.
Well, right. She expressed the interest of being a part of Just for Fun Radio. Let me just tell you this. I said Tuesday morning about every candidate that's running for public office here in Rockdale County should be here at Just for Fun Radio and talking to your audience.
Right.
And first of all, I'll give DJ Scotty a hard time because I said, listen, make sure you stretch your reach out, or cast a net, should I say, to make sure folks know about you and can get in here. But he had a very valid point when he said, listen, if they don't know about Just for Fun Radio by now, there seems to be a problem. And I have to agree to some degree with him because you guys listen, let me make a confession. When I first came to Just for Fun Radio 2 years ago, I was very skeptical. I'm old school, and I really had a lot of old school thoughts about online radio. Well, the young people that's in and around my life says, no, sir, you need to get there. It's a hot thing. It's happening. And when I got here and came involved with Just for Fun Radio and the listenership and the response, I'm like, oh my God.
And you see the stickers.
It is you see these doggone stickers everywhere. And I'm running into people at Starbucks and Panera Bread and Walmart and the barber shop that says, you did a good thing. I heard you on Just for Fun. I'm like, you really listen? He says, I listen every morning because
we listen in Pike County.
The thing about Just for Fun, you guys are uncensored and raw. y'all say what other people
I got mad
dare
yesterday.
to say.
I got mad.
I
did.
remember
I actually took my headphones off and I walked off because, that probably wasn't very professional and all that other stuff. But, you and I have had these type of discussions 6-8 months ago about things. You came in one time and you said, you guys hit me with everything you got. And I hit you with, I hit you with some touchy ones. You got a little upset with me. I got a little upset with you. But you know what? Where are the other guys? You can't solve the problems of our community sitting behind a desk. We're not. This isn't the presidency.
Or not here in the community.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's 8:00 at night, guys, and you guys are here talking about our community. When I came to Rockdale County. Yeah, so long ago, I don't want to admit my age. And you know what? Back then, Rockdale County was a county of prestige. It was the county, it was the city east of Atlanta. And you know what? People used to say, man, Conyers is way out there by the quarry. Remember, you talk about the quarry. And then they said it was 15 miles. I remember 15 minutes east of Atlanta. Once they started saying that, I said, wow, Conyers is going to be amazing. But guess what they say now? They say 30 minutes outside of Atlanta, you can be in Covington, in Newton County. And I'm irritated.
You know what? That's a shame because we have a wonderful county. I've been here. My history is that I'm an attorney by trade.
Right.
And I graduated from law school in 2004. I was actually going to stay in Texas. I went to Texas Southern Law School and I was going to stay in Texas, but my sister got sick. And she was pregnant. And so she needed somebody to help her with her baby.
Sure.
So I just got finished with law school, I'd taken the Texas bar. So I was looking around for where I wanted to live so I can be close to my sister, but maybe not necessarily live with her. Anyway, long story short, I did the research on Rockdale County schools. I'm a single mother.
Okay.
Or I was a single mother. I guess I still am.
You still are.
A single mother. She's 25 now. So I did the research on Rockdale County schools. And it was like the second best school in the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
So I was like, why would I go anywhere else?
Yeah.
And then when I got here, I started getting involved. And then you start riding around the community and you see how great this community is. Like you said, we're actually 23 miles away from Atlanta, but you come out to Rockdale County and you kind of woosah. You just relax.
Yeah.
You have all these communities that have lakes and ponds, and we have Black Shear Pond.
We have history, and we've got the future.
Right.
We've got everything in this county.
And so everything is here. Then you have Old Town Conyers that is beautiful. So I said, why? This is perfect. And I'm from the country. I'm from Jones County, Haddock, Georgia. So I'm,
Haddock.
So rural is good to me. I feel at home, but this is
how many people in Haddock, Georgia?
You know what? Listen, I don't know.
What's the pull it up? What's the population?
He just tuned in.
Haddock, Georgia.
I went home a couple of months ago, and I was just riding through, and there were these two cows just walking down the street,
minding their business,
right?
Yeah.
And they saw you and said, "Move."
Right? They were like, "What in the world?" They looked.
Where you been?
Yeah. Anyway, so it is. I love this county, and that's one of the reasons why I've run for state representative. But when the opportunity came about for me to serve at home locally, I wanted to put all my time and talent into making this county the best that we can afford.
So Sherry, give them 3 reasons, your top 3 reasons as to why you're running for county commissioner here on the local level. Give us the best 3 reasons that you got why you're running. You got a world of people listening to you tonight. Tell us what those reasons are.
Like I said, this is the best county, I think, and I'm very, very biased. Are you asking for my goals?
Your platform,
or
your platform in
your
terms
topics.
of what's
of course, economic development. Everybody says economic development, but we need a strategic plan, and we need to stop competing with Alpharetta, what's that, Johns Creek, and all those places on north of Atlanta, or those communities. We can create our own niche market and promote ourselves. We need advocates for Rockdale County out there, so that when people say, you know what, I need this, this, and this, we've already been talking Rockdale County up, and they say, oh, that's Rockdale County.
What happened to some of the big ones? Since you're talking about economic development, what happened to some of these? Because there's a lot of empty big buildings around.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure.
Well, there's been a shift locally inside the community in terms of what happened. Some of them moved to other parts of for example, Publix moved across the street.
Yeah.
And what happened to that particular shopping center? A lot of them followed the big chain of Publix and went across the street with them. But we've got some new people who moved in over there. So there's been kind of a shift over a 20 to 30 year period. You'll see that happen. It's nothing unusual with big box stores. They'll upgrade, or they'll either move to some other area that's close to the same, because they're going to do a traffic study on the amount of traffic and people that's coming in a particular area, and that helps them make a decision, a corporate decision, about how they can bring in revenue. So
now, do they talk to you guys about that stuff?
We haven't. The uniqueness of Rockdale County is we have an economic development council that represents the entire community, both the city of Conyers and Rockdale County government. So this person serves as a liaison, and he communicates in our community with the 2 chief ambassadors. The city of Conyers does have a mayor, Mayor Randy Mills, and the county of Rockdale County has a new chairman coming up, Commissioner Oz Nesbitt. I'll be the chairman. So you got to pay attention
what
to
a
the show.
segue.
You got to pay attention to what's going on here. So here's the thing. You get those 2 people, you talk about what the community needs, the direction the community is going in, and you collaborate with those folks, and you talk with the corporate people who look at our community for a place to set up shop. Whether we're talking about what Sherry is saying is enhancing parks and rec and bringing in, I like to see Rockdale County have a Dave and Buster's. I love to see a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's. Those kind of places here in our own back. I'd go crazy, and I probably gain a ton of weight, Evan. You listening? If they brought in a Krispy Kreme.
Oh wow!
but you won't even eat this. Yeah. I'm telling you, this is diabetes in a ball.
No. I've got that saved for my exit. Trust me, I'm going to eat it. I just didn't want to eat it while I was in the middle of the show.
What about the super big economic development? I mean, like the big picture economic.
And that's my point. We need to have people. For example, Mayor Kasim Reed, you cannot talk to him for 3 minutes without him talking about the city of Atlanta. He is not just the mayor, he's the ambassador. So all of the economic development that's been going on in Atlanta that wasn't going on for the 8 years before, it's because he's out talking about Atlanta, telling people why they need to come to Atlanta, being on his high horse about Atlanta, and then he rolls up his sleeves and he does the grunt work to make sure that when the people come in, he's calling private schools, getting the children into private schools. He's doing the things that it takes to make people feel comfortable in Atlanta. We need that same thing here in Rockdale County. And if you have your 3 county commissioners doing that, advocating for, okay, we need this big box or this major development.
All right, Sherry, welcome to the world according to Mike.
Okay.
What's Sherry gonna do?
Sherry's going to be that ambassador.
It's easy to say I'm an ambassador for fat people.
but people who know me already know one of the reasons why I'm running is because I had an aha moment when somebody said, Sherry, you need to be the mayor of Rockdale County. And I said, I don't want to be the mayor.
The mayor.
But I can definitely be on the county commissioner and on the county commission, and I can definitely be one of the biggest ambassadors. I can definitely, before I appoint anybody to any economic development authority or even have that conversation with Oz, tell them these are the criteria that we are looking for to sit on our economic development council. And this is what we expect of them for them to also be ambassadors for Rockdale County. This isn't just me wanting a position. This is me wanting to make sure that this community is viable for the future, the present and the future. And we have to put all of our soldiers in place to do that.
Right. I know. I just got a text message and I kind of want to reiterate it back to you. Here's what the listener is saying. When Military Mike was just pretty much bad mouthing Rockdale County, what were your feelings about that? Because remember, I was saying it's not a safe place. It's not the place it used to be and all that other stuff. So I think what the listener's trying to get at here is, are you that passionate about it to where if somebody starts talking bad about, it's like if somebody talks bad about Just for Fun Radio, they got a fight on their hands.
Right.
But,
I'm always passionate about Rockdale County, but one of my platforms is public safety. And I want to make sure that this community is safe. I'm not one of those people. My business is here. I live here. I spend all day in Rockdale County.
Okay.
I use all of the walking facilities, the parks and recs.
How you gonna do it?
And I have to be safe. That's the number one thing. So we have to make sure that we give our sheriff's department all the resources that they need to keep this community safe, and all the knowledge and skills that they need to make sure that the citizens feel safe, not just against predators, but against the police department, because we definitely don't want a Ferguson or anything like that.
I agree. Okay, but I mean, obviously there's an election going on with the sheriffs as well.
Absolutely.
And on the 23rd, we'll be talking with them at our debate there. I've got some super tough questions for them. I'll be one of the moderators, or I don't know what my title would be there, but I've got some ugly questions for them.
Is that, which debate is that?
On the 23rd
at the VFW.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me answer this thing about how I feel when people start talking negatively about Rockdale County. We had a conversation come up Tuesday morning about that people are calling Rockdale County the East DeKalb. Well, that pisses me the hell off. Absolutely. And it irritates me. I was getting irritated when I was hearing what you were saying a moment. Yeah. I was just trying not to overpower. We've got a guest in here tonight because I think I'm a part of this show.
Yeah, you should.
But the truth of it is, it frustrates the flying flip out of me because this is my home. I'm very passionate about this community. We're not an East DeKalb. We're not an East any damn where. We're Rockdale County,
right?
And we are the best county in the 159 counties in the entire state of Georgia. But we're going to be a greater county. We're going to turn into a world-class community because we're going to change the mindset of Mayberry in terms of backwards thinking people and make sure that we cultivate and foster a community that is progressive minded. And let me just say this. We're headed that way because people are ready for results. People
we got called Mayberry.
People no longer want
or we should turn to Mayberry.
Status quo. They no longer want a monument. They want a movement. And that's what this is. And what you're seeing with it's a total of 7 people running for post 1, but that speaks to the movement that's happening in this community. Okay, now we got to weed through all this and filter through and get the best candidate. Absolutely, in each one of these seats. We got to make sure that people come out to these forums and debates and see and hear, touch and feel these candidates for themselves and get through the BS and the fluff and find out who is really passionate about Rockdale County, who's committed, who's been consistent versus these Johnny come latelys and these fly-by-night people who just popping up. Did I say that?
Yeah. Look, they're sitting at home complaining. They're not doing anything.
Well, anyway, so that's on that subject. What's your next subject there, Mike?
Well, I wanted to take a break because it's around 8 o'clock, a little after 8. Let's take about a 5-minute break here. Let's do a little music.
5 whole minutes?
Legs. Yep. Oh, wow. It won't be that long. It's just long enough for me to go to the refrigerator, get something to drink. But we did a little bathroom break. I don't think anybody smokes. Does anybody still smoke?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, that's such a terrible habit. Hey, listen, it's The World According to Mike. I'm sitting here with my lovely co-host.
And
Doc.
the number to call in is 678-760-1556. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Holy shit, I don't even know that.
It's on the screen. See that?
It's backwards.
I didn't hire her because she's smart. Let's take a few minute break. As The World According to Mike with the soon to be. I shouldn't say that, huh?
Well,
maybe that's
I don't think with the debate coming up, you want to get into all of that saying that because people already have their mindsets about whatever. But you don't have to say it. I'm here tonight as one of your guests. I'm the next chairman of Rockdale County because the people want a movement instead of a monument. They're ready for results. Is that okay?
That sounds great. And Sherry Washington, she's running to fill. Post one, Rockdale County Commissioner's Office. All right, let's take a few minutes and we'll be back on it. The World According to Mike. Woo! And we're still live on YouTube.
Good. That was,
I think Tello just left us.
Right, still.
I don't blame him. Talking about relationships, and we got into that. I'm much rather
on your page. Put the call-in number on there too. Maybe you can encourage some people to call in.
Yeah. I think Scotty's playing. The guy from the self-sustaining. Well, he runs a self-sustaining veterans community, and you know what? I asked these people.
I gave up Empire. What time it comes on? 8 o'clock or 9?
I
Lucius and Cookies on.
I don't watch Empire.
You got pudding?
I don't watch Scandal. I don't watch Empire.
I quit paying for cable TV. I've never been happier.
I got Kodak. I can watch.
I'm gonna have to eat some more of this because I can't take it home.
It has what I like already. Bananas or some chocolate.
Oh, it's delicious.
It's called banana split cake.
Oh, shut up.
It's angel food cake. Then it has banana pudding, bananas, pineapples, another layer of cake, strawberries, then whipped cream, bananas, cherries, and chocolate syrup. And it tastes like a banana split cake, a banana split without ice cream. Yeah, that's like diabetes right there. Advanced diabetes.
Told him to
call. I'm still waiting for somebody.
Just for fun, you all are on in the morning.
Most days.
Through Friday evening. Thursday nights are remote show from.
I'm only here on Wednesday nights.
I don't need a monster.
No water.
I'm covered. Yeah. I'm not from this area. I'm from Pike County. It takes me 2 hours to get here.
Pike County. What city is that down there?
See, we are southwest of Griffin. Zebulon is our biggest community. So if you can imagine.
Pike County tonight?
Yeah. So when you're talking about 2 cows walking down the road, when I joined the fire department, I started listening to the radio, and that was the first thing I heard was a call out because there were cows blocking the road.
Wow. Are you still with the fire department now?
Yeah.
How about that? How long
2 years.
Okay.
My husband's a career firefighter, Army retired. So he was the only way I was going to get to spend any time with him was to do the same thing he does.
Yeah.
But I am too damn old for this shit. Have you ever seen firefighters? They're just not as cute as they used to be. Those guys they get on the calendar. That's what they go pick them up at some gay bar. That is not where they come from.
All right. You guys ready?
Mine's still loading, trying to get to Facebook.
You guys ready? Ready to go back live?
Twitter.
Ready to go live? Let's do it.
Christian, if you're listening, yes, I'll pick up a Dr. Pepper on the way home. And Pat, yes, you will get some of this fine dessert. If I don't bring any home, I will make it again.
All right, let's go back to work here.
All right.
We'll call that dessert, love, and war.
Absolutely.
Dessert, love, and war. I'm going to go with that. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we're actually keeping it pretty clean tonight on The World According to Mike. We have
Give
some
me a
guests
minute.
with us. Huh? Wait, are we getting better? Or
Oh, no. Just give me a minute. I haven't warmed up yet.
Yeah. Well, you're from Pike County, so you're a visitor to our county. Tonight we're talking with our Post 1 commissioner, Oz Nesmith, who is running for the big chair. Is it called the chairman? Is that?
It's called the chairman.
The chairman?
But I got to fix you on something, okay?
Okay.
Since we're Southern people, I'm going to just say fix you.
Fixing.
I want you to repeat after me. Say Nesbit.
Nesbit.
There you go. You got it. You've been saying Nesmith or Nesmith or something. I don't know what the hell you've been saying, but
I have post-traumatic stress disorder and a mild traumatic brain injury.
There you go. All that blaming stuff and
I just threw out a whole bunch of acronyms.
all that pointing the blame and all that good stuff.
It's the Army's fault, and I hate the VA. And along with us, we have a young lady by the name of Sherry Washington with some very impressive credentials in the law field.
Tell them your tagline: Washington
works. But let me also say that my the credential that's most beneficial for this particular office is not the fact that I'm an attorney, but I also have a master's degree in public administration.
Wow.
And I did work for the city of Savannah for about 3 years in the city of East Point doing economic development and community planning for about another 2 years before I went to law school.
Man, economic development for Savannah.
Well, I did community planning for Savannah, and we worked with the economic development.
That was hopping.
Oh yeah, and the whole new downtown Savannah, we were responsible for bringing those things. So when you talk about tax allocation districts, which we just received, I know about that. When you talk about neighborhood planning and overlays and things like that, I know about those things, and those things excite me. Facades and things like that. I like that. So that's part of my background.
That's liking something like that. I like pudding.
Well, I mean, just pudding.
I keep it pretty simple in my life these days. But I'm on a lot more medication than you are probably. Hey, since you kind of you danced around it a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up. All right, Savannah is well known for its crime.
Right.
All right, now
and St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, but it's all the normal stuff. Who cares? The cobblestone, who cares? The place that sells the divinity, who cares? I'm getting to the tough topics. You know me. I want to talk about stuff nobody else wants to talk about because that's it's just like the process that we talked about with code enforcement. Okay, nobody wants to talk about that, but I'll talk about it because it's wrong. All right, so here's my point: is crime in Rockdale County is an issue.
Right.
Okay. Now, Oz was talking about two things that kind of piqued my interest. One was neighborhoods and communities becoming more involved.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Which I think is scary. Okay. Because that's a you know what my dad used to say, because we used to gamble back then. That's a crapshoot. You know, that's.
Are you saying this neighborhoods and communities being more involved in crime prevention?
Yes, like neighborhood watch programs. You know what? I don't like those things. Now, this is the world according to Mike, so I'm going to give you Mike's point of view. I think those things are dangerous as hell. I'm not going to get into the Trayvon Martin deal, but I'm saying have you ever been to a homeowners association meeting? These
people can't get along.
These people think that suddenly they've got, the power of Thor, and it's because they're a VP in a homeowners association. They're only there for a year.
If I ever see anyone on my front lawn with a ruler trying to measure how tall my blade of grass is, I'm just going to shoot them.
Oh, look, Danny,
Please
I
don't.
can
Or
tell
shoot
you
them and then give
stories.
me a call.
There you go. Danny, I can tell you stories.
Sound
I
like a
lived
setup
right
to
up the
me.
street.
I don't live in this community, so
Yeah.
you're saying.
I lived less than a mile from here.
Pike County do all kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
I got 2.5 acres. You better outrun that bullet.
Here, I've got to say this. I don't stay on topics long enough to really have any fun with them. I do want to talk about the crime, but believe it or not, a listener took the time to look this up, so I want to share it with you. There's 1,682 people in Haddock County, Georgia.
Haddock. It's not Haddock County. It's Haddock, Georgia. It's
Haddock-
Jones County.
Okay, so it's Jones County, but Haddock. It does say Haddock, Georgia.
Okay.
So there are 1,682.
And I believe that.
Actually 1,684 if you count the 2 cows that we're trying to leave early.
Exactly.
You know, we want to keep you here, Sherry, but if you went back to Haddock, you'd be the mayor.
It's unincorporated. Haddock is unincorporated.
Okay.
But we do
She's
have
had it with Haddock.
we do
That's a
have
hat.
a knowledge
That's
tree.
a hat.
We have a tree of knowledge where everybody comes and converses.
So
around
everybody in
the
Haddock
tree
are her relatives.
Actually, no, not really.
Not everybody.
Okay, so getting back to vigilantes.
I had to date somebody.
Wow.
Fifth cousin.
See that? Hey,
If when your family tree is a wreath, that's when you need to just rethink the town you live
That's
in.
why you leave.
all right, y'all folks. No, I'm joking. So here's my thing. I personally believe that neighborhood watches are dangerous. I think you're taking and ignorance is not bliss when it comes to protecting someone. There's laws involved. Oh my God, there's just so much people's attitudes. Who's going to carry what? How they going to do it? If they're just going to call the police, if I impede someone from moving, if I do a citizen's arrest, all these things, so got to be taken into
Well,
consideration.
let me clear this up.
And-
Let me make sure I clear this up because I don't know. Here's the point I want to make. We're not talking about creating a group of vigilantes. That's not what we're talking about.
Oh no, I agree.
When I talk about community involvement and more homeowners associations getting involved or creating them in places where they don't exist, and we talk about people being more concerned and more nosy neighbor type things going on, we got to implement that and bring some of that stuff back because the dynamics of this world and the world of technology is so different. Now, there's some safe things you can do from a technology standpoint because everybody has a camera phone. Absolutely, you can get involved, but you can also call the sheriff's office quicker and right away. And there's some new apps out there that you can do and engage with. And I know that our sheriff's department is on the cutting edge of doing something in terms of technology to make response times a lot quicker for the sheriff's office by being able to tap away into notifying them on things that are happening real time right then and there. We're not asking anybody to go out and arm themselves and police and get involved, or you said impede. I wouldn't dare want anybody to impede or block someone in, do anything crazy like that because you're putting yourself in harm's way. I spent 15 years in law enforcement. I know better than this attorney sitting next to me. I'm sure is not going to advocate any foolishness like that. What we're talking about is being an extra set of eyes and ears in a different kind of way. And now, not what we did in the 70s, in the 60s, and in the 80s, or even in the 90s, but in this new wave of technology, letting this technology work for us to help keep us safe, and getting in touch with our law enforcement and public safety community in a whole different kind of way, in a faster way that will give us a slower or a quicker response time is what I'm trying to say.
It would be nice. My neighbor, one of my good friends left her daughter's bikes across the street at another one of our neighbors' houses for Christmas. Somebody broke into that neighbor's house and stole her daughter's bikes. Now it would have been nice for nosy neighbors to have been looking out, and so they could have called the police so that her daughters could have had, their bikes for Christmas or things like that. And then if you see somebody taking presents out of somebody's house, take a picture, call the police, take a picture. But those are the kinds of things that we want to bring back.
Are you going to be prepared for the overwhelming nosiness that's coming with the
like the extra 911 calls?
Holy
That's
crap.
what I'm thinking.
Well, let me tell you about a 911 emergency 911 dispatcher and operator. They have the ability and skill set to filter what gets an urgent response, and that's a part of their job, to filter what's going on, versus the lady who calls all the time about everything simply because she can do that. Now, at the same time, they can't assume and discount her, because what the story of the boy who cries wolf, you never know when it's really real. So you have to make sure that that expert on the other side of that headset and telephone at the 911 center can filter this information and can identify. Oftentimes when you're talking to the dispatcher, guess what's happening? The police is on the way. Her job as an expert is to keep you talking while she's doing her thing and sending that patrol car out there. But here's the other part of it. I've heard the sheriff's department and the leadership talk about community policing and implementing more community policing. So with community policing, it allows your deputies and your police officers to get to know their beat, their patrol area, their community, their neighbors a whole lot better. So in the incident like what we're talking about, in an instance like what we're talking about, you can get the deputy that patrols that particular area. Miss Jenkins is calling again. She's calling from 1612 Brown Street, and he's okay. I got this. He knows it. He knows what's going on, that kind of thing, and it helps filter what's going on. In addition, that 911 operator knows too, because you're getting these calls all the time. So you're right. It has to be a mechanism in place so that the sheriff's office and the 911 center doesn't become inundated with foolish calls and that we don't tie it up.
All right, let me throw you the proverbial softball that has a curve to it. How many 911 dispatch operators have we had in Rockdale County? Rough idea, not holding you to a specific number, in the last 5 years.
When you're your question, you mean that come and go, or are you asking how many sitting in the center right now
How many
tonight?
come and go?
I have no idea of that.
I'm thinking a whole bunch. Then what I'm doing too here, Oz.
What do you mean you're thinking a whole bunch? Mike? What are you saying?
I'm saying that job.
You got a listening audience, so what are you saying? Be specific about what you're saying.
I'm saying that job. You said that the dispatch officer or the dispatch
911 operator.
911 operator is going to get to know the community, have a little bit of insight. I know not specifics here. Then you kind of made reference to Officer Bob. My point that I'm trying to make is I think that currently our public safety has a tremendous amount of turnover in Rockdale County.
Okay, I think that's really what you were trying to say in the beginning. Let me say what I was telling you about the 911 dispatcher. The dispatcher becomes familiar with those frequent callers.
Absolutely.
Those people who call who calls every Friday night, every Wednesday, every morning, every Sunday morning. They know those regular people. Every community has that one or two persons that do that. I was also talking about community-oriented policing, similar to the COPS program, where the officer on the beat gets to know the young people. He knows the old lady. He takes her newspaper. He gets to know the business guy, the guy at the shoe shop, the dry cleaners, and the guy at the corner store. He builds a rapport and relationship with his area that he's patrolling, which makes his job a whole lot easier when he's trying to track people down, discover things, and find out what's going on and where's most likely to find stuff that's been missing or stolen, that kind of thing.
Policing.
That's what it's all
that.
about.
my point is that I just feel like it. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I have 2 family members that have both been with the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office. And, excuse me.
You're talking about employee retention and the turnover.
What I did was I tried to putting over some human resources questions in the public safety department is what I'm saying there. I just didn't want to come across and say, hey, look, Rockdale County has a tremendous turnover in that area. What are we going to do about that, guys? What's your stance on that?
That should be a tremendous concern to us, and we would need to work with the sheriff's office and see what we need to do in order to make our officers stay here in Rockdale County. We don't want this to be a training ground so that they could go
stepping stone
to somewhere else and make their community better.
Right.
We need these people in these resources right here. So that will be part of our job.
Is there a possibility of doing this? Now, I was a helicopter pilot when I was in the Army. They spent a whole lot of money on me. And I basically, once I graduated, I pinned a bar on and they said, happy 6 years. There was a commitment. Now, they also do that in the JAG Corps for the attorneys. They put you through law school. Medical document may be able to help me there. I don't know. Yep. So if you're an Army doctor, they put you through doctor school.
They do, but they under certificate.
Yeah, one of those.
One of those words.
Yeah. Now you see why she's my co-host.
I've been hitting the head severely too.
Yeah. So lots of things blew up in Afghanistan.
We are trained beyond our certification, but the military will only give you the smallest level of certification,
right,
so that if you want to advance, you're paying for that advancement on your own. So it kind of holds you to stay in that job. I know what you're saying. Yeah. One of the things that I did find because I know nothing about Rockdale County. I'm not from here. So I did do some research and saw that one of the biggest things that you've been talking about with the commissioners is whether or not to give a raise to your public servants, like your fire department, police departments. I don't know that the budgeting is a big issue.
Well, thank you, because I was trying to get to that point. Let me just say this. When you talk about employee retention, whether you're talking about the sheriff's office, the fire department, or county employees as a whole, for the last 4 years, I've championed the cause to give an increase to our county employees, in particular our public safety folks. Okay, that was shot down by the current chairman twice. Okay, now let me just tell you this: it's difficult for a law enforcement officer or public safety personnel. Let me use that term: a public safety personnel to really take care of a family on the salary that they're made. Rockdale County law enforcement officers or public safety personnel are among the lowest paid in the state of Georgia. So what happens, we have become that training ground where people come in, they get certified, and they go over to higher paying departments and they move on. But I must say this: crime is down 30% in Rockdale County. You got to keep in mind that the current Sheriff Levitt, has only been in office now his first 4-year term. There's always going to be a shift in employees. Some people are not going to like the current administration. They're going to move out, go on. That's okay. That's part of the normal cycle that takes place in most departments. Typically, when an officer gets past, get to the 8 to 10 year mark, they become pretty well vested with that department. They stay, they begin to look at their benefit package and the tenure they have, and they think about the investment of time and opportunity for growth and development by staying on in that department. Those officers that's past the rank of captain, they're looking, especially if they have a college degree, they're looking to be somebody's assistant chief somewhere or police chief somewhere. They're looking to make the rank of major, depending on the size of the department, and move up where they can get into a white shirt and be a part of police administration.
And there's only so many.
And there's only so many of those jobs. But in the lower ranks, from private to sergeant, and sometimes from private to lieutenant, you have people who still have young families and they're trying to make it, and they're looking for opportunities. And sometimes we lose good people. But I must say, most of the people that's with Rockdale County, whether in the sheriff's department, the fire department, any other departments, they're here because they like working in Rockdale County. There's a big difference as a sheriff's deputy in Rockdale County than DeKalb, Fulton, Gwinnett, and Clayton. we have trouble, but we don't have trouble the size of those places I named. So this is a great opportunity for you to be a part of a community that cares. We know the people in the community. It takes a max of 15 minutes to get to most places in Rockdale County, but on an average, depending on the day and time of the week, a good 10 minutes to get to where you need to go. But I think in terms of law enforcement, public safety as a whole in Rockdale County, it's a great place to get a job here and start a career. And I think that the sheriff is implementing some programs to address employee retention and to make sure that there are better incentives for folks to move up the ranks. I know they implemented, and I don't want to say the wrong thing and ruffle some feathers, but I do know on this subject anyway, I do know that there is the rank of corporal now here with the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office. You come in as a private, the next rank up is corporal, and then you move up to sergeant. I think the whole idea behind promoting, implementing the rank of corporal, because now you have a frontline supervisor, you have an opportunity for people to prove themselves in a supervisory position and continue to grow up and move into the ranks. As you said it, that movement is not quite as fast as some people would like it to be.
Well, yeah, and
education plays a part also.
I think is it clear cut, guys? And I'm being rhetorical here because one of my
and I want you to have clear, direct questions when you get to this debate. Mike, let me just come down because you don't stutter, but the damn if you ain't long-winded, you're long-winded with getting the question. You're going to have to ask the sheriff candidates the question.
Right.
Get to the point of it.
Right.
Get to the meat of it.
And that's maybe why I'm stuttering a little bit tonight, because
you're not stuttering. You're long-winded.
I'm not trying to give you an unfair advantage to the outlook. And that's why I'm getting a lot of text messages too that are going, easy cowboy, you're teetering on, the big topics. But I didn't say crime was up or down. I said crime is a concern.
I said what it was, and I think it's 30% down. Absolutely.
Well, Danny and I were talking about this before you guys came in tonight, is that we have a big theater, Carmike, or however you pronounce it, was purchased by AMC. Okay. AMC now controls like 900 theaters, God knows how many screens. Well, AMC is Chinese owned. They don't play games. I mean, if you're not, right uniform, all that other stuff, boom, they will get rid of you folks. Well, the reason why I'm bringing that up is, one, gosh, it's kind of dangerous over there. I don't really go to the movies anymore, guys, on Friday nights over there. I just don't do it. It's out of control. Like over there, it's people yelling and screaming. I don't know if they hire off-duty guys or whatever. Now, I know that an off-duty police officer in Rockdale County, whether he's with the PD or whether he's with the SO, the police department or sheriff's office, off duty, he's looking at $30+ an hour.
So, I mean, what are you saying there?
I'm saying I know police officers that make more money part-time than they do full-time.
Okay.
All right. See what
I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean,
that's the conundrum with public sector versus private sector. You always make more money.
I agree
in the private sector than you would.
But he's wearing the county uniform.
Well,
he's wearing the city uniform
because he has arrest power.
And the sacrifice he's making, because you gotta think this. And I can speak from the experience part of it, because now this guy has worked an 8-hour shift.
Right.
He's got small children and a wife. He doesn't make the income that he really needs, but he's almost forced to go work that special duty assignment, and he's being taken away from doing homework or playing catch with his kid. He's got to make that money. So I think part of the incentive for wearing that uniform is that it allows him to go make some additional funds. But guess what? He still is. He's still a full-fledged law enforcement officer. So even if he's at Carmike off duty, if something goes down, he's still the real deal police.
Right.
And he's working. So guess what? By the time he gets home at 11 o'clock, little Johnny or Johnny Jr. is asleep.
Johnny.
And he may not see dad until the weekend, because dad is probably working the movie theater the whole week that he's working day shift. I've been there, I lived it, so I know what it's about.
Yes, sir.
So
I know the feeling.
These are the things that we have to take into consideration.
The bigger issue to me sitting here is somebody that has resources that is not comfortable going to the movies in Rockdale County. So that means that you would take your money somewhere else, and that's
Yes,
not
ma'am.
what we want. We want everybody to spend your money in Rockdale. And
do you know where I go to see a movie?
Duluth at the new
Loganville.
So,
Loganville, Lawrenceville.
Right. So we want to so now we need to talk to the people, whoever. We need to talk to the owners of the movie theater. We need to go by there. I'll be going to the movies Friday, and to see what's going on so that we can correct the problem, because we want people who have the money, who have all the resources to be able to come and spend their money in Rockdale. I don't want you going to Loganville because
I don't want to drive.
We have a SPLOST. We need the money here in Rockdale.
Well, you know,
and education SPLOST.
Best Buy just reopened back over there. So now that parking lot is getting full again, which is I you know what, I'm one of those weirdos. Because when I go shopping, I know exactly what I'm going for. Okay.
That's a man.
But yeah, women don't do it. But to see that shopping center still chugging right along, with Red Lobster always packed, was it Chili's always packed, you know, to me, it's cool. I like to see that because Saturday, man, it was a beautiful day Saturday. I was out driving around doing a couple of things, and there was a lot of people everywhere, and they were having fun and all that other good stuff. But here again, I've got to bring up the fact that how do you change it as commissioners? How do you change what law enforcement? How do you change what public safety base pay, or how is this something that you guys have control over?
Let me explain this to you, Mike. Here's the basic understanding that I think a lot of average people don't know, or they don't delve into enough to get a clear understanding. What operates our county are sales tax and property tax. Okay, your homeowners tax. All of those things generate the movement. We buy police cars, fire trucks. We pay for fire stations. We pay for facilities and everything to make it work off of your sales, your tax dollars, and your property tax that you pay, to live in this county. So the salaries of all of our county employees, including public safety, comes from those tax dollars. Okay. Now, the more revenue we generate, the more law enforcement we can hire, the more police cars we can buy. People say, we want a water park. We want another park and rec center. We want this, we want that. I say, so do I. I want to see those things. I want to help facilitate bringing some of those things in it. But let me just tell you that those things cost money. So what we have to do is educate and inform our general public how we do that. Now, there's ways to offset some of this through public and private partnerships. But when you talk about the basic needs of the community of public safety, well, if we want to attract more quality people here in terms of carrying out the duties of keeping us safe, then we got to look at how can we increase the pay. We also have to make sure that we put in incentives to attract folks here and keep them here. One thing is to bring them, to lure them in. The other thing is to keep them. So a part of that keeping is doing what we need to do to keep our community safe as a whole. As a law enforcement officer is making a decision whether you want to police in Rockdale County, Gwinnett, or Fulton County. There's a plus by policing in Rockdale County because you're not continuing with the same thing.
I'm going to bring up a little stickler here.
So the board of commissioners who
you're in trouble,
who allocate and appropriate and distribute, all those words together, the tax dollars to the various departments in the county, we have to divvy that money up based upon the amount of money we have, number one, and the greatest need. And public safety will always be a top priority for me. But guess what? We do have other. She does. We do have, because all those other things listed on Sherry's door hanger, all those things that's listed on mine are very important, but nothing is more important than public safety.
Absolutely.
Because you got to feel safe.
You have to feel safe. Especially, I'm single. I have a lot of weapons, but I'm single, so I don't have any.
She hurried up and put that out there.
She did.
She wanted to let you know in case you're tuning in.
Yeah. Right. And I have a pit bull.
And I do.
She does have a pit bull.
I have a pit bull. I have a 380, a 9, and a 45. So,
girl, we got to introduce you to Taurus Judge.
She's a pistol packing mama
I'm telling you.
with a pit bull.
But we still have to feel safe. Like I said, I
Piss
use
her off.
the recreation facilities. I walk 5 miles every time I do exercise or whatever, and we have to feel safe. I try to walk. I've walked from my office to my house, which is about 4.5 miles. You have to feel safe. You have to feel safe in this community. And public safety officers are the people that make us feel safe.
Right.
We want to see them. I want to see them riding around.
As many of them as we can.
You know,
Exactly.
can I really? And I'm being a stickler about some stupid stuff tonight. But let me. And when I said, Doc, you were in trouble, I was just trying to get her attention. Let me ask you a question. What was the highest rank you achieved in the military?
Specialist.
That's an E4, right? So you're the 4th level of the enlisted category.
E4 Mafia, baby.
All right, give me a rough idea how much that is on an annual basis, non-deployed.
Did they pay us?
Rough idea.
Rough idea. I'm wanting to say like maybe $1,500 a month.
Okay, so now you see, I asked for an annual. She gave me a monthly. Now you know why she's my co.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
So yeah, we're talking like
when did
poverty level.
When did you get out of the military?
2013.
Wait a minute. Now, all
That's
right.
$1,500
Every 2
before
weeks.
taxes or a month.
That was what I took home every month.
Okay, so,
But you had. Oh, okay. I don't even know.
All right. Well, here, let me finish going. All right, let me finish going with this. All right. Did you join the military for the pay?
No.
Okay.
No.
Now I'm going to swing over here to this side. We're talking about maintaining or keeping public safety by increasing their pay. I know Ozzy's ready to jump on me right now. As soon as I said that, I could see
who
twitching. All right. I said Oz. I didn't say your last name.
Oh, I thought you said Ozzy.
No. Oh, God, no.
You know, I'm going to get you.
No, I wouldn't call you Ozzy. Oz is strange enough.
But everybody knows that name for it.
Oh, yeah. Here is my point. I know I'm long-winded, Oz. Here is my radio show. I don't think that we should sit here and really put on the table the main course is we're going to pay our public safety people more. And I know that's not what you guys are saying, but you know what? I know I was in the military for 28 years. I was active duty reserve and National Guard. I retired as a chief warrant officer. I know a whole bunch of people. I've met as many people out. What was the joke I always say?
So what are you trying to say, Mike?
The point I'm trying to make is
right
not
now.
one of those people joined the military for the pay.
Well, Mike, you do realize that the military is the biggest socialist program. I know and this is where Mike's going to get mad at me and probably fire me. It's a socialist program. So your benefits aren't just your pay.
Well, Mike, I don't want you to just say that, people
Cops
don't
get cars.
Well, listen, no. I'm gonna get you now. Okay. I'm gonna get you. Absolutely. Cause I'm pro police all the way. And let me just tell you, those men and women who are out there keeping these streets safe, they're not just there, for the money. And of course you don't get rich being a law enforcement officer at all.
Got that right.
It's a passion. They love what they do. It's a sense of pride. It's a brotherhood. It's a sisterhood to be a part of a law enforcement agency. So they're unique people to do that job. The folks who are out there putting their lives on the line all day, every day for us are unique type people.
Absolutely.
And whereas they don't do the job to get rich, they should get a decent enough pay where a officer is not forced to have to go work a part-time or special duty assignment in order to make his ends meet. He should get a decent enough salary to help him do what he needs to do. Now, does that mean that we can pay a first-time deputy $50,000 a year? That doesn't exist like that. And I think they know that going in. But at the same time, we need to be able to well compensate our public safety folks and make sure that we create an attractive compensation package to attract them to our agency and to keep them as well. And our growth and development with chances for promotion and different incentives along the ranks, I think that's something to be designed by the sheriff himself. That's not to be designed by the Board of Commissioners office per se. I think we can work in conjunction with our human resource department to work with the sheriff's department to make sure we come up with a fair and equal program that is fair enough to keep our people on board. So I just wanted to point that out. People do the job because they love what they do. It's an area they like to work in, but they should be paid decent enough where they're not also on government assistance.
Not to mention, we need to make sure that we come up with a compensation package, not just pay, maybe tuition reimbursement, more training, whatever we need to do to make sure that our officers feel at home. They want to be here. They want to protect us. They come to work alert, astute. And
how do we find that out?
Well, a starting pay is $32,000 for a Rockdale County Sheriff's deputy. Now that's without a college degree. Now, if he has a college degree, I think he or she is going to start off somewhere between 34, perhaps 36,000. If they have a master's degree, they'll be right at $36,000. That's pretty good starting out.
Are they post-certified?
Say again.
Is that being post-certified?
That's not being post-certified.
Okay.
Once you get your certification, you're going to get a little bump in your pay, but you're starting there. So if you have to really think about the individual, whether they want to have a career in law enforcement, like a career soldier or a career person in the Navy, what have you. But that's a personal question. They have to ask for themselves how long they want to spend in law enforcement. If he comes in at 22 or 23, he or she comes in at 22 or 23 years old and they want to put 20 years of service in, or perhaps 30 years of service, they need to be able to map out or gauge, where will I be at point of retirement? Will I be making 55,000, 60,000, or will I be at 70,000? And what will it take for that person to transition from a private making 32,000 to a retired captain or major at $60,000 or $70,000 a year? And usually it includes education and experience and all those other things to get to that point as a career law enforcement officer.
Well, I think the big thing too that I'm thinking about, I was a training guy. That was the majority of what I did, was I taught people how to do stuff. And you know what? If you've got a good training program, I think it's a distraction away from, and
I stand corrected. The $32,000 is for a certified deputy.
Okay,
absolutely. That's after the mandate class. Mm-hmm.
Now the mandate class too is that's Rockdale County still goes to GIPS, Georgia Public Safety Training.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, we pretty much work there, but we used to take over all the time. Now talking about that, okay, and the vehicle, and you've got a vehicle and what you can do with the vehicle and things of that nature. Obviously, is there any way to, and I don't, there's that one vehicle that comes up all the time. I'm so tired of hearing about that thing. But what I'm trying to say is that, okay, we have a maintenance program on our public safety vehicles, correct? Our vehicles, because that's got to be a big piece of the pie, is maintaining these vehicles. I was so
what's your question, Mike?
How maintenance? Is there any way that we can, will technology alleviate some of the old maintenance cost?
Well, I think the more these vehicles get upgraded and technology is moving fast every day in automobile industry. So yes, our cars are part of a fleet maintenance program, but the incentive is that officer, that deputy, gets to take the car home as an incentive, but it also allows us to have a better maintenance program because they take personal ownership of those vehicles when they take them home, and they treat them like they're their personal cars. The maintenance still takes place by the county government and our fleet maintenance division, and there's a scheduled maintenance. There's a deputy gets in trouble if he or she goes past the point of maintenance on a vehicle, because all of that has to do with how we service people in terms of police protection and all of those other things. So yes, there is a program.
I know I understand that there's a program. What I'm saying is, isn't that an incredibly expensive program?
It is. Well, it's a high cost involved. You're talking about an organization, 200, 300 police cars. Yes, it's a
and
big
then you've
undertaking.
got half of them in people's driveways at night. Right? I mean, the guys that aren't on shift. Look, I'm not trying to piss off any cops.
I don't know what you're saying, though.
I'm saying that these guys, I'm sure they do take
the neighbor that has that deputy car in the driveway next to them. feels
That's
good
very
about it.
safe.
They feel very good about it.
Right.
And that car is being well maintained because he has taken personal ownership of that vehicle. Absolutely. So now what are you saying? He should be taking the car home? Well, you
I'm
only
just saying
you
it's
only paying him
incredibly expensive.
$32,000 a year.
Right.
That's for
But
that's for a certified deputy. And let me just tell you, that's $3,500 less than the Georgia average.
understand, but I'm also talking about a specialist, an E4 in the military, who doesn't get a vehicle, who doesn't get this, doesn't get that.
All right, now you've made this personal because you're a veteran and Doc was a veteran, and you're trying to compare what's going on with local policing and a national system of army soldiers. You can't do that, Mike. Military Mike, you can't do that. I'm not going to sit here and let you do that at all.
Half the cars.
Keep in mind, we have veterans who are now law enforcement officers.
I don't care.
I know you don't.
Listen to me. Half of the cars that Rondell County owns, half of the public safety vehicles for code enforcement with stupid yellow lights on them, whatever, half of those damn vehicles are sitting in people's driveways in the middle of the night. I know what you guys are saying. Yeah, the guy next door
the code enforcement vehicle is not sitting in anybody's driveway.
You know what I mean?
But the law enforcement, if it wasn't sitting at the person's house,
it
it
doesn't create a deterrent. The house I used to live in had 2 police cars out front, and you know what people used to say?
Oh, you lived in that neighborhood?
I'm talking about Loganville. When I lived in Loganville, my daughter and my son-in-law. But get this, we had 2 police cars out there, and guess what? You know what the neighbors used to say? You guys got guts parking those cars out front.
But
let's move on. Let's make sure.
They would just be at some kind of fleet place. If
they'll be parked in the yard somewhere. They'll be parked in the yard. There are some agencies that completely recycle every other shift with those vehicles. But
you can't run those cars.
The lifetime of the vehicle will be very, very short, and the maintenance will be higher if we recycled out every other shift on that vehicle. We'll be buying cars. The county would just be buying police cars.
You would be buying more cars, but you know what? Out of, let's say, the 200 magical number that we're just using for this example, you may be buying more cars, but you know what? 100 of them wouldn't just be sitting there costing money.
Well, Mike, there's only a few amount of our deputies that actually take cars home in Rockdale County. Most of our deputies share those vehicles. They are on some type of rotation program. Mm-hmm. There are a few people. Most of the people you see take them home are supervisors or
like they need that.
Or they have they do the drug court and
swing
like that, so they have to go and do drug testing and things like that.
I can help you a little bit on this one.
I know, because you guys probably had a car.
I've never had a car.
Your husband is a captain.
He's a captain. No.
What time you leaving here tonight?
No. They don't let me.
I'm not gonna let you beat up on my sheriff's deputies now.
They don't let me. They don't let me take the fire truck home. Okay, I mean the fire truck is $200,000.
Does your husband have her husband's captain? With
and he ain't taking the fire truck home.
No, but does he have a car?
No, he does not. But I will help explain this a little bit. I was on the police department for about 24 hours at one point, and apparently you can never shit in a shoebox and give it to your boss because that just doesn't keep you employed.
Well, there you go.
Doesn't give you a good recommendation.
No, I'll never be another. I will, and now that's why I'm on the fire department. When you have 50 cars and you have 25 on the road and you have 25 sitting, those 25 cars that are sitting are a pool is the way you have to look at that, because you don't know what's going to happen to these 25 vehicles over here. Accidents, wrecks, breakdown.
No, but you don't need 25 in surplus. You don't need 25 on the bench.
Well, no, but it's a good
a baseball team doesn't have the whole extra team sitting on the bench.
But it's a good rotation for maintenance. It's a good rotation for when vehicles go out of date and have to be replaced.
And you know what? The technology in cars is changing faster than every 2 years. So if we did have to buy new cars every 2 to 3 years, we'd be probably getting better cars.
But you don't get the opportunity always budget-wise to be able to replace those vehicles as fast as you would like to. So you have to have those backups.
That's because the budget is probably antiquated in the way it looks at purchasing vehicles.
It's probably because half of the cars are antiquated and you can't replace them all.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, the commissioners doesn't have
the
commissioner does not have a pot of gold to just go in and replace and replenish all the entire fleet of the sheriff's department. We can't do that. So what we do there should be a plan and that the sheriff has to upgrade his fleet over a period of time. And the incentive is knowing that we do have deputies that take some of these vehicles home, and it increases the lifespan of a patrol vehicle. You're absolutely right about technology. Technology has been upgraded so that you don't have to, we're old schoolers, we all remember to change the oil every 3,000 miles. Well, that is antiquated right there. Although there's a lot of us that still do that, that's antiquated because you don't have to do it that way anymore on a lot of this high technology. The point I want to make here is we're always going to have a good number of surplus vehicles in the police fleet, simply because you never know what's going to happen in a shift and what's going to happen in the middle of the night. Not just that, if you got a shift of 8 to 10 deputies out there right now while I'm speaking, and all hell breaks loose, and you've got to call in some additional deputies to deal with the fact that hell is broken loose, guess what? You're going to need them to get on in here right away. And to get them from their house to the incident, what they're going to have to do is put on a blue light and get there.
And by the way,
they're going to need a police car to get there. How often
does that happen?
The supervisors aren't driving these brand new vehicles.
Do you get CNN at your house?
Yeah.
Okay, well, stuff is happening all over the place. And we're not exempt from problems here, but we need to be prepared. And we don't need to be doing what we've been doing in the past, is reacting. I'm talking about proactive leadership, not just in the county government office, but throughout the whole county, even in the sheriff's office. So he has to be prepared, and I think that's what he's doing. In fact, I know it is.
Does law enforcement go to the commissioner for the budget?
The sheriff is an elected official. Okay. The commissioner's job is to allocate the funds. The sheriff makes a request as to how much money he needs throughout the calendar year to get his job done. So what we do is take a look at the budget and we allocate. If we can get him what he's requesting, so be it, that's what he gets. But we have to take in consideration all the other departments inside the county to get it done.
We have an antiquated MIS system, so that we need to work on that. We definitely need to do.
I need you to get up on the mic.
I'm sorry.
There we go.
We definitely need to do something about infrastructure improvement. Oz and I were discussing our need for transportation initiatives. So we have a whole lot of things that are secondary to the public safety, but
I mean, expensive. I'm sure there's a ton of internal things and I'm just going to refer to myself as a civilian, as just somebody who lives in the community, that we have no idea what you guys are. There's a lot of internal workings, I'm sure, that draw your attention. The ones that I'm trying to bring up right now, not only for my listeners, are the ones that are true and dear to my heart. And I'm one of these guys that I honestly, I'm working on my master's as well in professional aeronautics as it pertains to UAVs. So, yeah, I love to get down and dirty in the specifics. No resume, Oz, just relax.
Well, here's what I want you to do. You've got 30 minutes left in your show. I wanted you to take advantage of having a post one candidate here with you tonight. And before she leaves, you can make sure you ask some of those questions that, because of her schedule, doesn't allow her to get in here.
Right.
Take advantage and let her do a little bit more talking about what she plans to do. You started that a little while ago. You got off talking about the pudding, and you got sidetracked.
Okay, look, if you can't have any pudding if you don't brush your teeth.
Let us hear from her.
But I know. Okay, so we talked about, she has 3 areas of concern. She's got public safety, economic development, and transportation. And I think we've covered them. Maybe not exactly to the specifics of, hey, what is Sherry Washington going to stand up and do? And you know why? I'll tell you why. It's my show, right?
You can do
when I listen to Trump or Bernie or any of those other stuff, and they sit there and they go like this and they tell us what they're going to do, it doesn't affect me, because I've been around long enough to see the people on the podium, and then I've seen the people behind the desk. The people behind the desk are not the same people that were out there campaigning. Now, in Oz's case, I give him full credit, because the man does what he says he's going to do. Is there a lot of confusion in what stance you take? I'll show you the phone, and then Facebook's blowing up about it. But that's fine, because it's fluid. You're not going to say, hey, we're going to buy more police cars. As soon as you get the job, you're going to write a check for more police cars. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way at all.
Yeah.
I've been there for 8 years. It doesn't work that way. I am pro police, but I'm also just as equally pro community, which means that if we have police who are not doing what they need to be doing and living up to the standard of a professional police officer,
right,
I trust and believe that the sheriff is going to do what he needs to do through his discipline system to get those bad apples out of there.
And that's sheriff job stuff. I'm getting more along. What I'm talking more about is the money, because I think we all realize this. There's no magical tree out back we shake for cash. Sherry brought up a great point. She doesn't want me going to Loganville and spending my money, because every penny of tax that I spend here goes to the big picture, like we were talking about, buying cars.
She wants you to shop the rock.
Okay, so how do we do this? I'm not. It's funny here. I'm not looking for a specific answer as much as I am looking for your personal, your political, your campaign. You know,
we have to make people more aware that they do need to spend their money in Rockdale County so that we can do the improvements that we need to do. For a short time, there was a Shop the Rock campaign, but we, as the ambassadors, going to what I spoke about earlier, we need to make sure that we have as many things in Rockdale County that generates the tax revenue that we need. Yesterday, we were at a political forum that one of the organizations that I founded had, and I made sure that we had it in Rockdale County so that all of the tax dollars that were generated from that event came back to Rockdale County. That's part of economic development. It might not have been a huge impact on economic development, but every penny counts. Every penny goes to making sure that we get what we need in this county. And that's what you do as an ambassador for the county. You advocate to have as many things in your county so that you can have this county as fluid as it can be and generate as much money as you can.
And she's absolutely right. When you talk about a campaign, she's talking about educating and informing our citizenry on why it's important to shop local and shop right here in your own backyard. When people say to me all the time, well, Commissioner, I want to see this, I want to see that, or why don't we have this? Well, when you bring these things, like the new restaurant that we went to yesterday, when you bring these things into your community, you have to support them, people, so that they can stay and maintain, because they don't just pop up. So it's important to educate and inform our citizens on why they should shop local and buy local and do things here in their own backyard, because every dollar they spend, every dime, every penny they spend impacts the overall community, and in terms of improvement, public safety, parks and rec, senior services, roads and bridges, all of those things make a difference. When you ring the register, you ring it in a positive direction to improve your community. And I don't think enough people know that. We got to teach our young people. We have to have a camp. Rockdale County has over 300 churches.
Right.
Wow.
Every mile and 3/4 of a mile, there is a church in Rockdale County. I'm going to slow down and say it again. Every mile. All of them. And every 3/4 of a mile, there's a church in Rockdale County. Why am I saying this? Because where are people at least twice a week? Church, Sundays and Wednesdays, perhaps Sundays and Tuesdays. Some places have it on Thursday night, but at least twice a week, they're in the church. Who has a lot of influence? The pastor, the minister, the clergy. So a lot of this message in terms of the community, whether we're talking about fighting crime, whether we're talking about education, whether we're talking about shopping local, a lot of this collaboration should take place with our faith-based community to help us get a message out and to launch a campaign, an aggressive campaign, to educate and inform people about why, when they shop local, what kind of impact it's going to have in our local community, in our local economy. So those things need to happen. And these initiatives, some of these things can be basic grassroots campaigns. They don't have to cost a lot of money.
Oh, no,
to get
they
a
don't
message
cost
out.
anything, especially if you're going to, well, when you brought up the church issue there, or the topic of the church, remember earlier I'd said you had brought up two topics the other day that were close to my heart. One is the neighborhood watch thing. The other is the church groups. I've often thought, why don't we have some type of, and it can't be from you guys though, because then you're crossing that line of church and state, right? I mean,
what can't be?
A religious assembly, a group of all. You know what I've always thought of? Let me put it this way: why isn't there just a website that says, "Here's what churches in our local town are doing"? And because, like Tuesday night at the Cross Point,
we can establish a church directory.
Okay,
that can happen. I've hosted for the last 4 years this event called the Pastors Table. So it's where I invite all of the local clergy to come in once a year, and we collaborate about ideas that how the community can partner up with the local clergy in the faith-based community to help make the overall community together.
Any Muslims? Boy, did you hear the cricket?
Well, no. I'm trying to really give you a real answer. I don't remember any Muslims being a part of it. But when I say faith-based community, we don't discriminate as to who can come and who can't. I don't get into that. Absolutely.
So Jews would be allowed as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Especially, I would think that we need to take that and expand it, because if we wanted to do something, getting the faith-based community involved, then we would want to do it more regularly, like quarterly, so that we can say, listen, we're going to have a Shop the Rock campaign. We're going to start it in January, and we're going to chart its progress so that every quarter, we can listen, revenue has gone up this month, take it back to your parishioners, get them excited, re-energized. Let's go back and see where we are in June, and then come back and whatever initiative we have.
Well, the commissioner is right. So I've been able to do this as a part-time commissioner once a year. So now use your imagination. I'm your new chairman. How often we'll be able to do these things in a greater capacity to continue to move our community forward and expedite some of this education information we're talking about. So I like the way she's thinking, and we can do that. And when teamwork makes the dream work. So I mean,
will you allow these meetings or groups to start with a prayer?
I think yes, I would.
The Board of Commissioner meeting starts with a prayer.
I'm just asking a question. Why are you getting frustrated with me?
Yes,
no, we're not frustrated.
I'm just saying.
Y'all looking up at the freaking top of the studio, crickets and all that other stuff.
I like to open and close with prayer.
I said Muslims, and you guys went. I can hear the brakes stopping.
Some of my best friends are Islamic, and I have a lot of Jewish friends, so that's why.
Did y'all know my best friend's black? That's the stupidest joke.
But just because some of my best friends are not Christians, and I enjoy those relationships. So
I
like I like to hear their input.
Sure.
Awesome.
I think it's very interesting.
And some of my best friends are on the air with Just for Fun Radio.
Oh, brother.
Well, you know that I am not the slightest bit religious, whatever, but I say prayer every time I come here.
I would. Now, look, since we're talking about that, I agree that I agree that the leaders of these congregations, let's say, are very, very, very influential. Especially the Catholic Church.
No doubt about it. All of
County. Now, obviously, every church that I know of, and I've got a listener that's kind of beat me up because I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there. I just explained to him, this isn't a debate. This is just a chance for Mike to ask some questions and Doc to ask some questions.
We just stopped by the show tonight.
Yes.
To check on you.
They're just here for the pudding.
Yeah, I mean,
is everything.
Yeah, big muscular black guy coming around the backyard. Good idea, Oz. So
I told you I was coming though. I got common sense too.
I have no filter, so pretty much the only way I'm going to get around this is say, as long as he doesn't smile, they won't even know he's here.
Oh wow!
Oh, you know what? I've said that before. We were taking a picture back here. Scotty had a conniption, and Oz and I were dying laughing over here. So, but you know what? With the churches,
It's called growth and maturity. I'm damn near 50 years old.
Yeah,
So
man, I'm too old to be a racist.
30 years ago, when I was 20 years old, or whatever the number adds up to, I probably would have responded or reacted a whole lot different than that. But
yeah, spent 28 years in the Army. I dare you to.
I've heard it all.
I was gonna say, yeah, about 10
I've
years
heard all.
ago.
And look, I'm in the people business, but there ain't no damn way you can be sensitive. You can't be sensitive.
Yeah.
The
Well, you know
person that loves on you at 9 a.m. will hate you at 9:30, and it'd be all right.
We always loved the fact that when we deployed, we didn't have to deal with women. Well, y'all ruined that too. Now there's women in the combat zones, and
Wait,
oh my!
you guys know
He's
that you
trying to
wanted, you
start a
guys
fight.
wanted to stay over there and hang out all
Oh,
over
I tell you
Fob
what.
Midall.
yeah, Fama, Spa Phoenix.
So, what do you want to tell your audience about this upcoming forum? You call it debate
Well,
on April the 23rd at the
you
VFW
know,
Post.
I've got somebody that's kind of beat me up about that and talking about giving people an unfair advantage. I basically responded with, no, I'm not talking about specifics. This forum is going to be open for the other 6 if they would like to come. If you happen to see them in passing, invite them over. Both of y'all come over. I think it'd be great.
You mean when you say forum, you're talking about coming out here?
I'm talking about the show. I don't want to talk
the
about the
studio.
debate thing
Right.
because maybe people are going to interpret and spurpulate that I'm trying to be unfair with you, Oz, because we know each other. But no, I'm one of the other hosts is good friends with and works with one of the sheriffs. So I don't show any impartial. Do I show any? Am I impartial?
Stop
I
talking
think-
about it. Go on to the next thing.
I
You're
pretty
running
much
out of
hate
time.
everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're just pretty much a
I'm
general
babbling
asshole.
at this point. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think I made my point clear. One of my main topics is public safety.
Hmm.
I don't feel safe in my own county, and
we need to figure out how to change that
Right.
because if you don't feel safe, then others don't feel safe. I feel pretty safe. I mean,
Mhm.
even though my neighborhood has had its challenges over
Right.
the past.
I live
6
on
months.
150 acres out in the woods. I live
So-
down there, 212 Oglesby Road.
I'll be honest. When I googled this, Rockdale County, just to see what I was walking into today, because usually Mike gives me about 45 minutes before I leave
Doc,
the
is
house.
this your first time here?
Oh no,
No.
Oh,
But-
She acts like it.
when you Googled what today?
Rockdale County,
Oh,
because I'm not. I've never been involved in your politics here, so I didn't know what I was going to walk into.
oh, with us coming, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I just wanted to see what was going on, and the first 6 or 7 things that came up were shootings, and I was like, well, shit, I only take 2 guns with me to work. I think I might need to. Need to bump that up. I didn't realize
well,
where
I
it was
think that's
going.
because on Google, the most recent incidents and accidents are going to be shown first, and it's going to be
And the
it's going
things
to
that
pop.
get the most hits.
The things that get the most hits.
Yeah.
So that's the reason there. But let me say, welcome to Rockdale County. We are the best county in the state of Georgia, and this is a great place. We got great people here. We're not exempt from things happening in our community, but we have a wonderful response out of our law enforcement and our public safety community, and this is a wonderful place to live. We are not some of those other places out there. We're damn sure not Pike County, but I'm just telling you.
Like, there's
Right.
nothing like
So
Pike
you-
County.
I mean, we are close enough to Atlanta that we are going to get some of the unfortunate things that happen in Rockdale County.
Mhm.
The issue is, how do we respond to it? Is our law enforcement officers equipped to handle the problems, shooters? I mean, and the incidences. Do we still feel safe in this community? We're not going to be able to keep people out because there's no crystal ball and we can't read minds.
Sure.
And we
Mhm.
don't want to be to keep people that we think might do something out just because of the way they look. So there's no way to keep things from happening, but we can be responsive.
And she's absolutely right. I must add that through social media, through technology, a lot of the things are being amplified. Some things have been going on forever, but because of social media and technology, now you can get instant news right away. So you hear about things at a more rapid pace, and some of these things has been happening before, but now they're amplified and highlighted because of news on the go and information on the go.
Thank God.
But I don't want and for those, a lot of people in Rockdale County, we were not getting information like that. You weren't hearing Rockdale in the mainstream news as much as you're hearing it now, because now in Rockdale County, there are 2 or 3 of us that have iPhones and technology, so we're able to share that with the world.
Don't laugh. He's suckering you in.
Not only that, is other issues like gang violence and things like that. New Rock Legal Society, which is an organization that is a bar association that we founded to do community service. One of the things that our initiatives this year is to do more on gang violence education, because as a criminal defense attorney, one thing that I found out is that there are so many parents that are living with gang members. They're gang members in their houses, and because this is their son or daughter or whatever, they don't see the signs of things. So then we have a gang incident happening, and the parents are like, I didn't know Ray was in the gang or something like that. So that's another thing that we need to do, is educate the general public more on signs of illegal activity like gangs or things that, and you would be amazed at some of the ways that children are covering up their membership in gangs and things like that.
Kids are
now
good.
real quick, emergency management stuff, big issues, whether it's weather all the way to weapons of mass destruction. Does that fall anywhere in the commissioner's area of responsibility?
I think you were talking about, I think your question was in the event of a calamity situation. Did you say that?
Yeah, well, not a calamity as much as,
Natural disaster.
Disaster. I mean, I know we got the GSP running around, but I'm saying
we do have a.
Does it fall under you guys?
The fire chief for Rockdale County Fire and Rescue is our emergency management manager for Rockdale County. He works in conjunction with our sheriff's department, our police department, 911, the City of Collins Police Department, all the surrounding mutual aid agencies, other agencies from other departments, as well as GEMA, the GBI, all of those other agencies in the event that we have a major disaster or incident in our community. But the fire chief, Chief Dan Morgan, is our chief and primary coordinator he's our emergency management coordinator for Rockdale County. He's the go-to guy.
Okay,
and he works hand in hand with the sheriff and the police chief of the City of Collins.
Do you guys allocate funds?
No, there aren't any separate funds allocated. What happens here is he is the coordinator in the event of a major incident.
Okay.
The funds that he gets are through the fire department that he operates on a day-to-day basis.
And 90% of that comes from grants.
Does it? Okay.
Not the fire department.
Not the fire department, but emergency management has opportunities through grants.
That's where that money comes from. And
okay.
He's received some of that.
Let's say there, God forbid, is a natural disaster tomorrow. How does it affect the commissioner's office?
Well, it springs us into action to make sure that all of our first responders are responding accordingly with the right tools and equipment to address the situation. I think we all will be assembled or summons to the situation room where we're going to be making sure that whatever the sheriff need, the fire chief, the police chief, our public works division, we have the right tools and resources to provide them. From a day-to-day operation standpoint, the chairman of county government is the first responder on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. Now, that doesn't mean that the rest of the commissioners can't be a part of what's going on as well, right. But that's part of the primary duty of the chairman, to be on the scene to support the sheriff and the fire chief and any other of those first responders with whatever need that the county coffers can supply in the event of an emergency.
Here's the deal: leaders lead, and if a natural disaster happens or anything happens, I know Sherry Washington would be one of the last people to leave. I would make sure that every person is safe as they possibly could be before I left. I would want the first responders or anybody to have every tool that they can get. If I'm calling people from DeKalb, Newton, whatever it takes to keep our citizens and make our citizens safe.
And I hope you don't think that was in question. No. I've done a lot of these things. We call them HERXs, and there's all sorts of national disaster things we do with the National Guard. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the worst time to find out a natural disaster, first responders need money is in the middle of it. That's what happened in Katrina. And
the beauty of the size of our county, in the event of something like that, we can get a hold of our finance director. We can put our finger on people. We also have an emergency evacuation plan that's a part of the standard operation procedure of Rockdale County. Now, what I do think about that is we need to promote it, advertise it, perhaps have a few more drills than what we do. But I can tell you this, the Rockdale County Fire and Rescue, they have a ton of drills. Mm-hmm. Those guys do a lot of training in this county, and I think they're ready. And we've had a few nice size incidents in our last 20 to 25 year history to make sure that we're ready for something.
Remnants of Hugo shook us up and dropped a lot of trees on us. Here's my point: is kind of coming around full circle since we're coming to the end of the show. We're talking about making people feel safe. Well, I tell you what, the additional cops and the nice vehicles and all that other stuff, that's going to work. But I can tell you what, for somebody with some experience, I'm going to look past that, and I'm going to look to see if this county is going to be safe in the event of a snowstorm. Does spring anything close to mind? It took me 27 hours to get home that day.
Well, let me give
Marietta.
Yeah, because I was in.
So Rockdale. That wasn't Rockdale.
No, right. But I'm just saying.
But when you say that, Mike, you got to make sure you're clear on it.
I was very safe in Rockdale County.
Stone Mountain Highway, as far as I got. I left at 3:00 from Marietta to get home. But
we didn't have that problem in Rockdale County. And let me, before the show wraps up, I want to make sure I take a moment and kind of reintroduce our guest tonight. Attorney Sherry Washington, a local attorney here in Rockdale County, is a candidate for Post 1 commissioner. And I wanted to make sure that we took a moment to say thank her for dropping by and being a part of the show.
Yeah,
but
I have one more question for you.
Well, no, and it's not over. But I wanted to make sure I said that because I think she brings a unique and a refreshing difference to this whole dynamic. There's a total of 7 people. She stopped by tonight, and hopefully you get a lot of more people to stop by.
I certainly hope so. Now the final question, and this is how I segue over to you. Is you got the job, you're sitting in the big chair, this rumor's been around. Are you going to add any more posts?
Well, it's not me adding the post, and actually the people of the community will be the folks to add the post. I'm in favor of a total of 5 commissioners in Rockdale County.
Wow.
Let me talk to you about it. And I don't want those people to be right now we have 3 commissioners, and all 3 commissioners serve at large, which means we don't have precincts, districts, or wards. I'm in favor of having a total board of 5 people. We serve almost 90,000 residents in this community. I think we should have 5 people represented. Now, let me tell you, that's not going to happen right away. Right now, we're facing an $8 million deficit thanks to the current chairman who passed a budget that I did not vote for. So we got to get over some financial hurdles first. I think we should be planning and preparing for maybe year number 3 or perhaps even in the end of my first term. But we should be putting a plan in place now to present to the public about bringing in those additional commissioners at the appropriate time.
And why they're needed.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not something that's going to happen right now. We gotta figure out how we're going to pay our employees and keep the lights on before we're talking about adding 2 more people to the overall thing there.
Quit sending all them cars home with people.
Hush.
It sounds exactly like how I'm trying to run my house.
Yeah. All right. So now I segue over to this wonderful woman who's, my mother was an attorney. She was a U.S. Marshal. Then she went to law school, John Marshall here in Georgia. So I know the difficulties. I know the separation. For you to go through all that, take the Texas bar, and then come to the help and the assistance of a family member is a beautiful thing that shows
And she took the
family.
Georgia bar too.
Right, I'm licensed in
I'm sure,
Texas, DC, and Georgia. I've been, but my heart is in Rockdale. I opened my law firm as soon as I got my Georgia license. I opened my law firm in the middle of the recession, so it was 2007, and the bottom fell out. They weren't hiring any attorneys anywhere, even prosecutors' jobs. They were hiring experienced attorneys. So
Yeah,
I started just giving out my business cards and
door hangers.
right,
I love it. I love
door
it.
hangers.
Yeah.
And that's how I got started, and I've been in business since
She's used to
2007.
campaigning.
Wow.
Absolutely. So this is I'm what they call a street attorney. I do a whole lot of criminal defense, personal injury, family law, but I love it. I love serving.
Sure. Now, what's the name of your firm?
The Washington Law Group.
Okay, and that's here local.
That's in Conyers, off of Parker Road on Commercial Drive.
Okay,
but you can contact me. If my website is the Washington Law Group for the office, but my campaign is electsherrywashington.com.
Okay.
My email address is electsherrywashington@gmail.com. You can reach me there if you want to Google my office. Leave a message. I'm usually in court during the day, so I will get back to you. And all I want to say is please elect Sherry Washington.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that. Do you have a Facebook presence or a Twitter presence?
I think I am Miss Facebook.
Yeah,
Sherry Washington on Facebook.
Okay.
It might be it's Sherry Washington on Facebook. I have Sherry Washington for Post One.
Okay.
County Commissioner site also. I'm on Twitter, Sherry L. Washington. Instagram, I don't know. I'm not on Instagram a lot, but I do have an Instagram account. I just can't remember.
And you are all LinkedIn. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I like LinkedIn, as a matter of fact. I've been on LinkedIn for a long time.
I'm on LinkedIn, Sherry Washington on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Okay, I'll look for you too. Well, I tell you what, guys, it's 21:30 here, and it's 9:30 for you regular folks. It's been a long day. Thank you so very much.
This has been great. I want to come back.
It's an open seat. Just let me know. I would love to have you back, and maybe we can.
I think it'd be good for the morning. It should be good for the morning show too.
That's it. Well, we also have a show called Ladies Talk on Monday nights. With DJ Smiles, and she does. She's got such a huge listener base local.
Okay.
So
love to do
I'll make sure you get that information. And so that's a Monday night, and that's relaxed like this. The morning show, I'm sure we'll contact. Yeah, man. The morning show is 2 hours of fast pace, and then it gets tied up with the delay on YouTube, and man, it's just crazy.
Well, I'm off next week. I'm hitting the streets next week with my campaign. So
it doesn't sound like you're off.
Well,
off is at the beach.
I'm never off.
Off is at the beach with your feet in the sand.
I'm not in court. That's what a vacation is for me.
Not in court.
I'm not in court, so I'm off. But I would love to come by anytime next week.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that off the air. We'll make sure some of that stuff happens. Thank you so much for coming by on a Wednesday night. I tell you what,
it hadn't been that wacky either. I start talking about being a wacky Wednesday. It wasn't that wacky.
Well, because you know what,
you composed yourself tonight, Mike.
I did, and I got to tell you, it's tough for me because I was asked to come up with questions for you guys in this debate, and I want my listeners to understand that I have been kind of dancing around specifics. But the fact of the matter is there, I guess there might be a little partiality because you know what, Oz, and this isn't because of anything.
You're about to get in trouble, so don't do it.
No. Oz, I've seen you almost every weekend doing something. I'm going, this is full circle to the beginning of the show. What did I say? Bare minimum, I think you have earned the position for the simple reason of what you have already accomplished. The other day, Tuesday morning, Scotty was fielding phone call after phone call after phone call about people saying, well, he's been in office this long and he couldn't do. I don't care. Who knows what the situation was before? Well, now you're trying to actually get into the position where you will have the authority to make those decisions happen.
I think,
and people are knocking it. I was like, stop taking the calls.
I think that your county commissioners need to be on the same page also, so that we can do things in tandem. so that there's not a whole lot of infight, that we have a plan and that we implementing the plan. And so that way you will see Rockdale County expand, and it will work out a whole lot better when you have at least two of the 3 county commissioners on the same page at all times.
Well, I like the way you think, but let me just say this. I'm not entitled to anything. So I'm going to be working up until the last minute on May 24th. I appreciate your optimistic forecast. We believe that we're going to win this.
What are you getting all mealy mouth for now?
No, I'm just saying. You said that you think I've earned it, and like I ought to have it. But
you have earned it.
I'm not saying that
if
I haven't
the other
earned it.
guy
I'm just saying that
gets it.
I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm going to keep working.
You know what? Even if you didn't get it, Oz, you'd still do it because you've been doing it in Post 1.
I have a feeling like even if you get into the position, that you're not going to give up just because you got it. You're going to keep working. That's what he's saying.
As soon as he gets the job, he'll sit. He's going to have a new car. He's going to sit behind a big dish. You'll never see him. Look at Scotty. Yeah. Scotty's laughing. Yeah. Great show, Mike, and you ruined it at the end.
Yeah. Well, let me just tell you, it's an opportunity to remove roadblocks. I've been where this young lady is looking to sit as Post 1 commissioner. So I certainly won't give her the kind of disrespect and the treatment that I've had to endure. We're going to remove roadblocks. We're going to work in concert, cohesively together, and in harmony. And we're going to move this county forward.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Team Oz.
Yeah, okay. So
teamwork.
He's giving me the international. Ever since I've grown up, I have been on almost every continent of the planet. This means time out. But I'm supposed to understand. Look, I have mild traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder. He's just stupid. He's going like this, going, team. Yeah, I thought you wanted me to steal third. Yeah, I know. I'll be here. Yeah.
So he'll get you back.
Oh, yeah, I get the crap.
Thank you for having us, Doc. Nice meeting you. Absolutely. Good to be here.
A lot of fun. Awesome. Hey, look, it's been the world according to Mike. We have, I tell you what, I think we covered some good topics as general as we could. Always an open seat for you guys. Like I said, Ms. Walker,
early voting starts May 2nd. May 2nd.
Didn't know that.
Early voting starts on May 2nd. We want to really
just blow it out of the water.
We want to blow it out of the water, folks. So you need to get ready. You have until April the 26th to get registered in order to be able to vote in this upcoming election. April the 26th is the last day you can register to vote. DJ Scotty got registered to vote.
Yeah. Dogs and cats are sleeping together. All right. Hey, it's the World According to Mike. Thank you so very much. We'll be back next Wednesday. Hey, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. What's that kid's name? That guy's name? The Guru. It's Jacob with the Rough Edge. Next Monday night is DJ Smiles with the Ladies Talk at 7. Tuesday is Tech Talk, but it's Tech Talk, actually in parentheses, politics. So and you know what? I'm gonna text him all night next Tuesday night, just so you know. I thank our guest, Sherry Washington, running for Post 1. Oz, watch this, Nesbith. Danny, Doc, thanks for coming out. Thanks for the banana pudding. Thanks to our listeners. We had a good listening base tonight. Hey, it's the World According to Mike. Remember, if anything, no excuse is better than a bad one. We're out of here. Say good night on video. Good night on video.